back to the Overwatch Pacific Championship. We've just seen Detonator Gold sadly get taken down by Fireball. I'm Dallas Easy Fighter. Joining me here, Kevin Abra-Walker and Matt Smite-Ross, and we're finally about to see the number 1 and the number 2 teams duke it out. Blank Esports coming up against AHQ Esport Club.
And I was going to say, you know, it's sad for Detonator, but if you're a Fireball fan, you're pretty happy about that result. Speaking of fans, I know we got a decent amount of Blank fans out there, and it will be Blank, as you said, number 1 team undefeated so far in the entire OPC, having only dropped, what is it, still only 4 maps? They haven't dropped a single other map since Hong Kong Attitude, and now they've even 3-0'd Hong Kong Attitude. And
then let's talk about the other side as well, AHQ Esports Club. They're taking on the current champions, right? And after Flash Wolves' upsetting performance last week, AHQ have become Taiwan's newest champions, the newest hope at taking down the top of the table, Blank Esports. I mean, AHQ, they've had a lot of promise. Last time they went up against Blank, it was 3-1, where they took out a win on, I believe it was Temple of Anubis, actually. I think they actually first held Blank on that map.
Yeah, they did. So that was the first time we saw AHQ versus Blank. Now, a 1 map to AHQ's favor is, I would say, a fairly decent deal for AHQ. Blank kind of did look shaky in that entire week. They dropped 1 map on Assault to both AHQ and then also Flash Wolves. And then I think 2 maps to Hong Kong Attitude kind of right after that as well. But now the most recent Blank that we've seen, starting from week 4, they've been looking unstoppable.
Well, talking about unstoppable though, AHQ I think have been looking, I guess, having a lot of improvement, you know, throughout this tournament here. They've been showing, I guess, their diversity, you know, their players. They're not just sort of like, and I'm going to use Flash Wolves as the example here, you know, they really sort of like crutch on Zonda a little bit. But when it comes to AHQ, you know, they've got strength all the way down to, you know, like Crappy and their Lucio player. You know, he's sort of almost set the tone, I feel, with that sort of Torbjorn meta that a lot of these teams in the OPC are really sort of using on their defense side. And I mean, having one of the best D.Va players as well, I feel that is slightly ahead of Blank's D.Va player as well, in the form of Kiki most of the time.
Kiki hasn't played D.Va for a while now, actually. Trill most recently has jumped onto D.Va, and Kiki is now almost permanently playing Winston. I haven't seen Blank pull out of Reinhardt in quite some time. They've been in the OPC, in this small bubble of the OPC, they've been the pioneers of maximizing efficiency on triple DPS, maximizing dive coordination, and they haven't needed to run Ryan ever since. I mean, if this has been working out extremely well for you and no team has found an answer to this, why change? And they haven't changed. Keeping Tiki on the Winston, put Trill on just about anything, it's been working.
Going back to the D.Va as well, Lazy Titan from AHQ. I mean, I might talk about Yoshiharu and being the best defensive player on D.Va in the OPC. Well, Lazy Titan, he is the most amazing offensive D.Va I've ever seen. Like, he gets those defensive plays. Yes, he eats a lot of stuff with defensive matrix. Not going to make any bets on that one though. But
you can make a bet on how many self-destruct kills he gets.
Exactly. That's where I'm getting to. You know it, right?
If you say 1, you're probably okay. That's safe. A minimum of 1, you'd be safe.
That's not really a bet then, is it? It's really just like
that is what it's going to be.
I bet AHQ and Blank are going to play Overwatch tonight.
I think there's going to be
lose that bet.
I think there's going to be a kill.
Someone's going to win. Someone's going to lose.
But back to Lazy Titan.
Someone's going to be happy. Someone's going to be sad.
Back to Lazy Titan, right? This guy uses simple geometry every single time, and suddenly you're hiding away in this corner. You think you're safe from the self-destruct, like, oh, it's gone over in the air. Surely it's not going to get me in this tunnel. And then suddenly, like, there's a knock at your front door. You go, oh, you know, who's that? You open the door. There's Lazy Titan's mech blowing up in your face. And this guy, like, suddenly just out of nowhere, these mechs appear, and he picks up kills. I mean, in the interview, he says he practices these sort of things. Now, whether you actually believe him, whether sometimes it's just
on some level,
just a little sprinkling of luck, like maybe he practices them, but in any case, the results are there. He's getting these kills with his self-destructs, and he's also quite often just up in the face of the key players and killing them as well, which is the big difference.
I think you have that kind of consistency to get a minimum of 1 kill per self-destruct, if not more. Now, a lot of the times, D.Va self-destruct can be kind of not that effective. It's good. It's a good zoning tool. It was always guaranteed to be a good zoning tool. But you're not always likely to get a kill. Now, for someone like Lazy Titan that pretty much always gets a kill, it's pretty practice. Like, you can't, to know his angles properly, to know the exact placements, not just like, if I stand here and put it here, that's where it's going to be, but really like, if I fly and I throw the mech self-destruct in this angle, it's going to land about here, and that's where I want it to be.
It's like
Those angles are practiced. There's no way you get it to that consistency without it being practiced.
it's like practicing those Reinhardt charges where you know you're just going to stop short of the edge and the other guy's just going to go sailing off into the bottomless abyss. Like, there's some angles on that. My favorite one is the gate at Hanamura. Like,
Yeah, I was going to say, that's the only one I really know. The other ones, I don't know any other ones, but again at Hanamura, you know that's just the perfect
there's
one.
a few on Volskaya as well on the first point. Like, I mean, hey, but Lazy Titan, he does it on D.Va, and just watch for it. I mean, not going to bet my shoe, not this time, but he's going to get a lot of
Well, you
self-destruct.
do it 2 shoes, I mean, it's 2 things you can
Yeah,
bet.
one down, one to go.
Look, this is not fair, guys. I'm not eating another shoe.
You're gonna be, and next stream we're gonna see Smite without shoes. Exciting.
But at
Let's
least
see
he'll
how
be-
his sock game is.
Yeah, he won't have shoes, but he will be full, so that's a silver lining.
Yeah.
I think up against the current form of Blank, unless Blank have a really rough, again, another rough weekend, or at least another rough day where things aren't going right for them, Blank currently do look out of this league. Blank look like they're far beyond any other team in this entire league. Like, if AHQ beat Flash Wolves, but it wasn't like AHQ completely wrote them off, right? Blank are writing teams off. AHQ aren't doing that currently. So while AHQ look decent, and I think there may be chances for HQ to still take a map because they look like a cleaner team than Hong Kong Attitude do, I'm still thinking this isn't going to be a loss for Blank. It shouldn't be.
It shouldn't be at all. And I mean, talking about control, Blank definitely, I feel, are, a cut above everybody else when it comes to control. When it comes to that straight sort of brawling sort of gameplay, we've talked about it in the last series we saw. They've got that ability to win team fights without even having to commit any ultimates to them there. Most of the time, if they're playing at an ultimate disadvantage, they have something in the tank to really work with in that regard. The thing is here is, I guess, the longer this tournament goes on, and they sort of talked about it in the earlier weeks about how Atar, he played that Pharah, wasn't too flash hot on it, but Trill said, if Atar had more time to practice on it, he would probably be a very sort of standout Pharah player. So it's interesting to note, I guess, that the depth of the team still isn't fully there yet. They've still got a lot more room.
Atar's actually came out pretty strong with Pharah last weekend. His Pharah last weekend was actually really good. So even that, and I think I made the comment, I said to Pixie, was like, oh, look, did they just unbench Atar's Pharah? And I said it in like a jokingly kind of way, like, wow, that's a mistake.
Well, I mean,
Worked out really well. He did extremely well in Pharah.
Well, I mean, it's not even a joke because in the interview, literally, that was the answer to their performance with Atar and Pharah. They were saying like, oh, Atar's Pharah just sucks. And like, he literally said that in the interview. And so to see it actually come out and also do really well it's not something to joke about. It's now something that's been fixed and is now just something else that Blank can add to their tool belt, right? These guys, at the very start of the OPC, in their intro video, they were talking about, oh, our biggest weakness, probably our hero pool. That seems to be sorting itself out.
And to sort of talk about what that means as well is when they say weakness in hero pools, what they're really strong at is the actual variety of heroes they can pick. Now, the weakness in hero pools comes down to who actually plays what. So, realistically, while it's been great that Trill plays all these DPSs and can play everything, that should be Kiki because your main tank, you want to just switch them between Ryan and Winston, and those are the only 2 heroes. As boring as that is for a main tank, if you can just master those 2 heroes, you're set. That's all you need. Now, Trill would be a fantastic flex tank if it weren't for the fact that Kiki doesn't play the Reinhardt and Trill does. Now, Trill, the flex tank is where you actually want to be bringing out your 3rd DPS option. That's where you want to play your D.Va. That's when you want to play your Zai. That's when you want to play your everything. And that's kind of where the weakness in hero pool has kind of been for Blank, in that specific trade-off between the 2 tanks.
And so it's a bit of fireball syndrome almost, where they're kind of, I'm not going to say locked into a Winston composition because that's not the case.
They're not locked to any composition, technically.
No, but it's clearly something
For Blank, that is.
It's clearly something Blank very much favor playing. And it's got them to the top of the table.
Well, I mean, having a look at the scoreboard there, Blank looking to set themselves up on double-digit wins here after this matchup. But AHQ, obviously, one game.
You're like
ahead as
double
well.
digits, but a team is currently on double digits, but it's not in wins. But four wins, it will be Blank on double digits. We're expecting possibly double digits for Blank.
And I mean, for AHQ, this is almost, I'd say, much win. You know, they're actually a match ahead. You know, they've played their 10 games already. Blank still sitting on 9 here. So very important for both of these teams to pick up a win here. But obviously, things are really looking like this is really the Blank show. And I guess they really want to establish that dominance, especially coming into this sort of next weekend. You know, they're coming up against Marchi, one of the other sort of strong-looking teams that have made, I guess, vast improvements. So they don't want to be coming off the back of a loss coming into that one.
I think for AHQ, they need to be able to come out of this matchup with a minimum of 1 map win and a preference of at least 2 map wins. I won't go any further than that because I'm still not expecting AHQ to actually pull off a complete win. For AHQ to win, it won't be a case of AHQ playing better, it will be a case of Blank making mistakes that AHQ do actually capitalize on. So unless Blank makes some serious mistakes, which they're not incapable of making, but at this stage unexpected to make, for HQ again, for them to establish their dominance as the number 2 team and the number 1 team in Taiwan, they got to take at least 1 map, if not 2.
First map, Ilios, ATA on the Pharah, just like we talked about before this one here. They're going to be running the pharmacy combo, going to be Gumba, actually having his back through this one here. So interesting to know they're Dizzy getting right in the thick of things here, seeing what he can find into this one.
Edup's getting a little bit deeper though. Edup's getting so deep he ignores Dizzy completely, goes entirely for the back line, and Kiki's actually already low. So far no kills, but Blank do get they got kind of chunked out.
And that's going to be the opening there. They managed to take down the mech and Lucio. It's going to be crappy there. Now a lot of pressure being put onto Kalman. Going to force him back off the point here. AHQ almost getting themselves some cap time there, but it's not going to be enough now, slowly falling in the way of Blank as they look to open up this point here. But Lazy Titan with the pistol there, just finding ATA with the Mercy as well there. And now AHQ just answering this one back. And they should be able to pick up the first cap, and indeed they do.
Here's the thing, ATA actually spent a long time, while we were watching ATA, I can't really speak to the members, but he spent a long time going up to specific targets. He only realistically got Dizzy. Now, while that's a good pickup, the rest of his damage kind of wasn't that effective. I didn't really... He shot himself against a tree, and then he immediately ejected himself back up against Lazy Titan, immediately killing him as well.
And so it'll be interesting to see they still keep ATA on this on the Pharah here, seeing if he can open this one up. Dizzy going to be finding that pulse bomb kill. Dragon Blade now coming in from Kalman with the boost as well. So that's going to be the Mercy out of this one. And this should be where Blank are going to have to fall back. But ATA still commits to taking someone with him.
That's actually great because Blank were going to reset anyway. And so ATA is like, how can I reset and also pick up a kill? That's right, let me just shoot a rocket that kills both myself and a target. Perfect.
Beautiful stuff there coming in from him. So 3 ultimates now to work with on the side of Blank. They're slightly ahead of the AHQ side as they try to work their way back into the point now. Do have control of the high ground here. Eat Up just looking to get around on the flanking side, but pressure put instantly onto him by Dizzy, trying to take this Tracer on Tracer duel, and it looks like Dizzy was slightly edging out ahead. Sound barrier now coming through. ATA going to be up on the point here. Blank finally answering with some kills there as well. Barrage using, and it's nothing. There finds absolutely nothing with that Barrage. Heartbreaking stuff there for ATA, but look at the self-destruct on the point. Going to be buying themselves a little bit of time, but the cap is indeed falling the way of Blank. Is there anyone there on the side of AHQ to contest? And indeed, it is going to be Eric all over this one, but he drops down there. But Dizzy's here to save the day, but he's out.
And to be honest, all HQ really needed to do there was just stall out the point. They're already on 79%. 80 plus would have been absolutely fantastic, but I think 79 is perfect to work with regardless. AHQ also saved up a bunch of ults, so they're not really in a bad spot whatsoever. Even if they throw the next fight, they're going to be in a good position to just take 1 win. 1 big win will secure them at least the overtime, I'm thinking.
Well, going to be interesting to see how Blank are going to set up for this one. AHQ waste no time, jumping straight into this one. Nano boost coming through now onto Eric. Just looking to do a little bit of chip damage in the front lines here, trying to take down that mech. And it's going to be Gumba getting taken down again. No support now there. Pick up for the Mercy. And look at this. AHQ are just going in right now, finding everything they need.
Eat-Up needs to stall really badly. If he loses too early here, Blank don't have a chance to contest this cap. I think we're gonna go to overtime. I'm pretty confident this will go directly to overtime with Kalman's Dragon Blade ready in hand as well. AHQ are set up to win.
It's looking very good indeed for AHQ. Now 90% on the cap here. Blank need to come up with something big to get themselves back into this. They managed to finally get control of this high ground here. But will there be enough damage here as the barrage comes in again? ATA finds nothing and gets put to sleep there as well. So good cancel there. Sound barrier now coming in. This is going to be their moment. A lot of contention. What is this? Flying Kalman. And indeed finds that kill onto Gumba again. Dizzy picks that kill up onto Kiki. And AHQ, they are just answering back right here. A bit salty, it seems, after this first loss. And they are not having a bar of it this one.
As well, just to finish things off, MC Crappy dropping the beat.
Oh my goodness, that's my man right there. Sweat. Oh, he's happy with that one. AHQ,
You gotta be pleased. But what was that crazy Genji play from Kalman as well, straight up onto Gumba? That was incredibly good because they know they needed to secure the Mercy, although there was no res anyway. The threat of the res was always going to be there. Had they left the Mercy, Gumba could have possibly gotten the res. That would have changed the course of the game regardless. So killing the Mercy, res or not, absolutely the right pick by Kalman. But the efficiency, he didn't waste time. He didn't turn into, I'm trying to remember who takes a long time to get a kill. But it's not Kalman. He gets the kill immediately, switches targets. He absolutely snowballed that for his team. I gotta say, AHQ played that extremely well. Good setups as well, put themselves at 79%. Like I said, 80 would have been better, 80 plus would have been perfect, but even with 79, immediately hits the overtime, has an ultimate advantage. AHQ, they made that their victory.
Oh well, they're keeping ATA on the Pharah here as well, so not looking to change that one up there. And I feel a lot of that was Dizzy just getting right up in their faces. They're stopping a lot of this one from going. Going for a bit of a concussive there. But doesn't manage to knock anyone off the edge there. And now good position here. A lot of these AHQ players are stacked up. ATAR could be doing a lot of damage here if he was hitting these rockets. Not really finding anything just yet, but ATAR winning the Tracer duel over on the side here, picking up the Lucio as well. So now Blank looking strong on this first attack here. Kalman getting extremely low. Kiki there to finish him off. Blank picking up the first cap. This is a different story.
I feel like you said eat up there, like Etar. Etar would be like the combination of, if Atar and eat up were the same person. Oh man.
They had a little Overwatch baby.
Oh man, Etar is just the
he's
the
so
best
good.
player. So good, Etar.
But they do have that nano boost to work with, so something there to see if AHQ can get themselves back into this one. And now, let's see, Eric again, not wasting any time, jumping straight into the front lines here of the Blank side.
He will die here.
Looking to find something. Oh, he manages to get taken down. Looks like he was going to escape almost there.
He manages to
die. Rough stuff there. ATAR finally kept finding a kill in this with his barrage there, and it's going to be crappy. Trill taking down that mech as well. Now Eat Up doing a lot of damage here as well. He is taking it to Dizzy this round, and now all over Kerez, not even using that nano boost in this one. Oh wow, Eat Up eats him up indeed there. Slaps him in the face, and Blank holding on.
This is like the most aggressive Tracer, not just in the OPC, but like likely in the region. He will always take those 1v1 plays regardless. Like whether he thinks he's a hit or not, he'll take those 1v1 plays. And honestly, if you're Dizzy right now, stop being scared of him and just fight him, because Eat Up isn't going to let up.
Yeah, I mean,
if
he wasn't scared of it first.
If you can kill Eat Up, you're going to be in a pretty good position.
But now they're walking into the rockets of ATAR as he's just raining doom down upon them.
Kalman
looks for another aerial slash, but can't find anything with this one. Does find RQT though, so at least a little bit of a consolation there, trying to get straight onto the pharmacy up in the air. And now Trill going to be dropping down as well in his mech there. There is
Res.
Oh, big Res coming through now, so this is going to keep the momentum in the way of Blank now. 82% AHQ, this is a must-win fight for them. Self-destruct coming in. Look at that angle coming through as well, but doesn't find anything with it. And now Eat Up in the back lines here, looking to get himself a bit of damage, and indeed he finds it onto Kalman there, looking to get another one, doesn't manage to find it just yet.
So far they haven't really shut down Eat Up, and this has been a big problem as well. He's still alive, and Dizzy finally takes the duel, but who's actually going to be able to win this one? Eat Up just disengages, and smartly so as well. So even when Dizzy wanted it, he couldn't manage to find it. If they get rid of the pharmacy combo, this could be the opening for AHQ. But man, as the game, it's so late for them. We're already on 0 overtime.
Yeah, Dizzy now getting pressured by the whole team. Eats a punch there from Kiki. Now Kiki right up in the faces of these AHQ members. Oh, nice little wall riding here to try and keep this one alive. The overtime is indeed ticking down. AHQ need to get themselves back onto the point, but Blank all up in this one. Kills coming up in their way. It's going to be Eric finding himself a couple, and this is great stuff now for AHQ to push themselves back into this one. That nano boost coming in as well, just in the nick of time. Eric not letting up at all. A lot of pressure, but the res coming through now as well. Look at that. The Blank members are back on the spot, and that's going to be all she wrote. Now Blank equalize.
And Blank really, where they capitalized so well is directly at the start. From ATAR's point of view, it was actually perfect. You could see the way Blank were engaging. They force AHQ into narrow hallways. They force AHQ backwards. Now, if AHQ had been able to pressure forwards, had they gotten control of the cap itself around the well point, spread themselves out a little further. You said, look, AVRL wasn't directly hitting the rockets, but that was actually better because he was getting splashed onto everybody. By not hitting the direct rockets, he was getting an extra splash damage on 2, maybe even 3 extra members inside that narrow choke point, and that really allowed Blank to push on and pressure through positionally. Blank won positionally so quickly at the start. Eat had all the room to play with. Dizzy had barely any room. And AHQ just got choked out. AHQ had no comeback.
Oh, looks like a sneaky Widowmaker coming into this one. It's going to be Eat Up on that. Coming up against
Snipe versus
Lazy
Snipe.
Titans one. So interesting to see who's going to come out on top of this one. Oh, but first shot coming up in the way. Oh,
That's a
we'll
quick
make that
one.
a second. That's going
a
to
quick
open this
two-piece.
up for Blank.
And already massive advantage for Blank. If AHQ either need to back out of this or pick up their counter kills, where's Lazy Titan? Surely the counter snipe should be coming into effect, but he's getting pressured out so hard by these mobile DPSs from Blank. He hasn't even had a chance to get the counter snipe in there.
And yeah, look at this. We've talked about, I guess, their hero pools here. You know, sort of a big mix-up across the board as well. You know, AVRL on the Tracer there, Trill on the Genji. Sort of really trying to practice changing up who plays what in this team here.
Lazy Titan needs to get the pick. He
Nice
finally
shot.
finds one to Eat Up, and that could be the opening they need, and they actually get 2 out of that as well.
But AVRL, he does answer with a pulse bomb onto Eric, so 1 tank down there for the side of AHQ. But Lazy Titan again finding another kill onto Trill. This is now not coming up. This is not good for Blank right here. Dizzy does have that pulse bomb to work with as well. Should be able to land one here.
Blank need to fall back from this, or they're going to feed ult so hard.
Well, indeed, a couple of these support players going to get caught out now.
This is a cleanup.
Oh, they definitely have the broomstick out, and they are just sweeping the rest of these players out. Now Infrasight coming through as well.
This is kind of like the hubris coming out into Blank. Yeah, Blank should have been able to concede that. They should have looked at the situation and said, look, we're actually behind in plays quite significantly. We don't realistically have ultimates to bring ourselves back into this anyway, especially not the high impact ones. Pulse Bomb's already gone. Got the 1 kill. It's not enough. Actually back out. Didn't need to lose the additional 3 plays. Now you fit ults into HQ. They can snowball down with the Pulse 1 and Dragon Blade of their own. Transcendence coming up as well. I gotta say, while Blank are ahead in progress, in terms of the actual pace of the game, HQ got the lead.
Yeah, Trill getting pressured out instantly here as well. Going to be having to fall back. Doesn't manage to get the flanking route he was looking for. Kiki up in the front there. Did a lot of damage, managed to take down Dizzy. He does have support. The Transcendence from Kirez not doing work.
Blank are actually getting kills through Transcendence. This is kind of unprecedented from AHQ. I don't understand this. The Transcendence should have absolutely been able to keep players alive. So I think what might have happened there is carriers didn't know who to go on to. All the players all the HQ players are dying so rapidly from all angles. You saw carriers just darting between different heroes, different players, and he just says, look, I don't even know who to keep alive here because everyone around me is dying. And if you're AHQ, you should have played closer to the Transcendence. You should have played more consolidated, and that way the Transcendence would have kept everyone alive. But what was once a lead for AHQ now completely goes into the favor of Blank, and Blank didn't even have to commit much.
Yeah, they don't find anything there with that early pulse bomb from AVRL, almost getting him caught out of position. Will they manage to find the kill? Indeed they do, but Eat Up does manage to find that pick onto
Good
Kalman.
position by Eric.
So good stuff there for them to get that pick now. The pressure going to be on to Trill. He does have that Dragon Blade. If they do take him out, that's going to be huge for AHQ. But it is going to be Trill finding that counter kill now. Dizzy up in the back lines with that pulse bomb, trying to find something. That Transcendence is going to be able to keep Blank alive through this, but not through that pulse bomb from Dizzy. AHQ holding on for dear life, but Trill hits the Dragon Blade, finds that kill there onto Crappy, looking for another.
Maybe
Can't find
uncalled
it.
for. This may be a little bit uncalled for because only getting 1 kill at the Dragon Blade, ultimately this doesn't give you enough ultimate usage. I think what it does do is give them the momentum. And at 99 to 48, HQ got to get a little bit desperate here. The Dragon Blade versus the Primal Rage. And wow, you got to say, if AVRL didn't get much out of Dragon Blade, Kalman got absolutely nothing.
Yeah, gets pushed off that one. Crappy not going to be able to do much on that at all. Overtime ticks out, and Blank pick up their second map here. 1 more away from picking up the first map here.
Picking up the second map, and then get back to the one map. This
maps.
is why I call them stages, because I think it's
Stages.
a little bit clearer of what we're actually trying to talk about. So I refer to the individual maps in Control as individual stages, because once you get into the habit of saying map, I don't know, what is that?
I've been in that habit since the start of the
Yeah,
OTC.
since beta, since Overwatch beta.
Well, we went into map.
So here's the thing: is AHQ at one point, I believe, we're actually ahead in terms of, again, not in progress, but pacing and control of the game. They had control of the actual point itself, which is the start, but also they had the momentum in terms of ultimates and where they were going to play that. And then they Transcendence, saved no one, and Blank walked away with that game. It was a massive pickup for Blank. At least if Blank had committed ultimates, there are a lot of ultimates. That could have been still a turnaround for AHQ. Now we're going to go back onto Lighthouse. Let's see if Blank can open up this again.
See if they've made the adjustments they need here. They're still running with a the same lineup, it seems. Still have ATAR on the Pharah from the last time they played this stage. See, I'm learning. And they are slowly pressuring them up on the high ground. They do manage to push them off, and now ATAR should be able to find himself a decent amount of hits now that he's uncontested up in the sky here. He's got to watch out. Obviously, Talman's been aware.
What?
Nice shot there
What
coming
was Eric
in from
trying to do
ATAR.
there? Was he trying to go for ATAR because he completely missed, and then ATAR just kind of smacked him back down to earth anyway, so this is not a great start for AHQ.
No, Dizzy and Lazy Titan now just trying to get a little bit of a contest on there. But this is the difference they've made compared to Blank. They pull out instantly there. Dizzy going to be taken out by ATAR as he kills himself there. But the last couple of players did manage to retreat for the rest of the team. Nano Blade coming in now, looking to find
Gumba down.
And that's going to be what they were looking for. Eric right there to have his back as well. RQT falls down as well, so now no support on the side of Blank. Only 20% on the cap here. So AHQ answering quickly and firmly here, looking to really take this fight out. Now ATAR won't be able to do too much.
Gumba's respawning here, so they got to be careful. They got to actually close out this fight before Gumba can actually come in and be effective. And for Blank, they still haven't left this, which means Blank maintain control of the cap.
Resurrection
and
comes
they
in.
get the res. So for all the effort HQ put in, they haven't even capped.
And that's absolutely great from Blank there, just in the nick of time, the res coming through. But I think even without the res, they would have been completely fine. But
Yeah, they were winning without the res anyway, which is kind of the problem in and of itself. Was they spent all the ultimates, they spent all the ultimates taking res out of the game. That's good. And then you need to actually be able to kill the other members now that one of the main supports is down, one of the main sources of healing is down. Actually cap the point, actually secure it. They didn't manage to do that. And they still haven't capped.
Eric going to have to commit the final
running
rage.
out of time for HQ.
But Dizzy finding that kill onto Kiki, that's what AHQ are definitely looking to find here. But now ATAR, oh my goodness, look at this. Eric jumping up in the sky, trying to contest, pays with his life for that one there. But Dizzy winning that Tracer duel as well now, so they do have to be careful on the back lines there. Dizzy can go to work here, but ATAR just rocking the sky right now. Nano boost on the point, Dragon Blade coming through as well. Kalman, can he find enough with this though? He has picked up the mech and the Mercy as well. Dizzy right there to take Kiki down as well. And this has got to be AHQ's fight to win. But Blank sitting nicely on 90%.
Good saw from Eat-Up. This is going to push them right up. They should get 98. No, just 97. Just 97, he says, because 97 is actually a really massive deal here. When you're AHQ and you're still capping from 0, you got so much to go. It's not even funny. Actually, 97 is better than 99 in this case, because when you're at 99, you recap, you go into overtime. If you're 97, you recap, you can just win there straight up.
Well, ATAR looking to get a big barrage coming into this next fight there. There is the Resurrection to work with as well, so if Gumba can stay alive with his life, Eric gets taken down early into this fight, so this is great for Blank. Sound Barrier now coming in. Eat-Up looking like he wants to get around in the back lines. He's got that Pulse Bomb to work with, gets hit by the Biotic Grenade, but Dizzy putting a lot of pressure on to Gumba himself there. Trill's going to be the one to fall down there. Kiki hits that Primal Rage as well just to keep this one going.
A little bit wasted into the self-destruct. It actually dies of self-destruct. I mean, that's the ultimate payback right there. Just desserts is what's going to get served right to Eat Up at the restaurant. And we're going to see if HQ can keep this one going. 47%. The res isn't going to do much except maybe feed additional ults onto AHQ as Blank continue to fall over.
They need to fall back out of that one there, and I mean with that Resurrection coming through, they were all over that AHQ and they just destroyed the resurrected players there on the side of Blank. Now they've just got a self-destruct to work with on the side of Blank. So not too much that they're going to have to work with into this next fight as AHQ get themselves just past 67% now. So things are looking very good now for AHQ, have a lot of ultimates to work with.
Here's the problem for Blank is they don't have a res to rely on here. In fact, they don't have many ults to rely on whatsoever. Troll already going down early and a lot of ults for AHQ. If AHQ snowball this one out, which currently it does look like they are able to do that. Gumba already going down as well, which means ATAR is completely naked, doesn't have any support, gets taken down by Dizzy. This could be another winning situation for AHQ as we head up to about 90% mark. Still 2 ultimates left to go. Blank were very wise to concede that one away. But now, as they only have 5% left to actually continue the fight.
AHQ in a very offensive position here. Eat Up trying to get all the way past onto the point, into the back lines there. Has to fall back instantly. Now Trill here to start things off, seeing what he can get cracking on the point. Sound barrier coming through for the side of AHQ. There needs to be that counter, and indeed it is. QT throws us down. Eat Up needs to find a huge pulse bomb coming into this next fight.
Gumba needs to get res.
Oh, there comes that self-destruct from Lazy Titan, getting his kill per bomb. That's exactly what they like to see there. But Kiki with that Primal Rage.
Here we go, res available.
Going insane. That's going to be needed right now. But are they going to drop this? No, they're not. They're not going to keep Eat Up. Oh, they are. They are going to bring it in just to keep Eat Up alive. Some huge stuff there now from Blank. This is a must-win fight for them. Overtime ticking down as well. They are coming out on top of this fight. This should be the recap for Blank. Indeed it is.
Make no mistake, AHQ are not going to be able to get there in time. And just like I said, 97%. I think it's better than 99% because it does mean as soon as you get the full game win. And for Blank, even Trill like that one.
Throwing the deuces up for that one.
Play of the match.
Well, I mean, definitely sort of found...
This is the Boostio. I don't know. No, it's not the it's not the Boostio.
Are we sure?
The Boopio.
It's the Boopio instead.
It is the Boostio though, but he managed to get obviously all those kills with the boop. Didn't even need the Boostio really.
Well, I think that was a pretty tight series. I think what it really showed from AHQ is their ability to not only stay in the game, but close out the game. And for Blank, a couple of dicey moments there. First time we saw Lighthouse, not really effective for Atar. They kept Atar on the Pharah, and eventually he did come out through with some pretty big plays towards the end. Mainly on Well. I think Well was a good Pharah map for Atar. I'm still not super convinced by it on Lighthouse. Now I think had Atar been running Genji instead, they would have had a better time in general. I think that's been their key composition that they've had the most success on. So kind of the takeaway is also you got to consider, did AHQ beat a subpar Blank lineup, a subpar Blank composition? It has to be asked.
I think the difference between Lighthouse and Well, where we saw very different results on the Pharah, was just how you initiate against the Pharah composition when you're just running purely dive. They don't have any hit scan, so they're not going to win these duels where you simply just try and shoot the Pharah out of the sky. You have to dive on top of them. Now think about Lighthouse, right?
Dive up to it.
Dive up to that. That didn't work sometimes on the second Lighthouse, but on Lighthouse, the map itself, right, you've got this tight enclosed space inside a building, very easy to jump inside and just steamroll the guys on the ground. And suddenly you've got Pharmacy in the sky, and half the time not even, because Gumba's actually died at the start of a lot of fights. But you can just dive on top of the enemy team and take them out right away. You've got the courtyard, you've got the tight space on the Lighthouse.
So
then on Well, plenty of space to stay on the point without being dived on.
Something you said was really interesting is, what was AHQ's answer to the Pharah? Because Eric N, the tank player for AHQ, was the guy dealing with Atar.
Yeah.
And that's an issue. Like if Winston is what you're using to counter Pharah, I think that's a bit of a problem. I think sometimes Eric was good, he was effective, he got the kills. Most times, not really. And Blank adjusted quite quickly, they adapted really quickly. They said, okay, what was the problem earlier on? Oh yeah, Kalman dashes up and kills us with Dragon Blade. You see the adaptation on Well immediately. Kalman goes for the Dragon Blade. He's got his sights onto Gumba. He's got his sights onto Atar. Dashes up. Guess what? Atar goes even higher. He flies even higher. Gumba goes up there with him. Kalman says, whoops, can't catch them anymore. Better go onto a different target. He does that, except he spent a lot of time, like a good 2, maybe 3 seconds out of the Dragon Blade, looking for 2 targets he couldn't even reach. There's half the Dragon Blade gone for absolutely nothing. And this is the kind of thing where Blank are able to identify, look, where they're actually losing and fix that up quite quickly.
I was going to sort of say in regards to that is about how AHQ were, you got to give them props, even though their lineup didn't really, I guess, complement, killing a pharmacy.
They killed everyone else really easily.
There is obviously that, but I mean, they really did deal with Gumba there. You could sort of see what they were going for there. We take the Mercy out. Hopefully Atar won't be able to do enough without the
And there's something else I noticed on top of that as well, which is, even though you killed Gumba, so for a lot of AHQ, their fights was like, okay, kill Gumba on the Mercy, done, check that off the list. What are you doing after that? Because it's after they kill the Gumba, they failed to actually secure the wins. And not once, not even twice, but maybe a few times in there, they get Gumba first, Gumba respawns, comes back, still effective. And then the one time they needed to kill Gumba in the final fight, when I was like, look, he's going to get res, he's sitting on about 70%. If they can actually kill him here, that's A, a good start because they annihilate one of the key healers, and B, they prevent the res coming into play at the most critical part of the game during the overtime when the final fight will decide who wins and loses. The first time they actually don't focus Gumba, which is really crazy. So they get Gumba when every other time when it was just like, yeah, it's okay and kind of not okay here. And then even when they do, they don't get the mileage out of it. And then when they actually needed to kill Gumbo, they failed.
Now the thing is like, and this might even sound a little bit controversial, right? Is when
So
you're
controversial.
Yeah, so controversial. Just wait, save your hate for a second. Diving onto the Mercy's team, even when Mercy has ult, is actually quite acceptable, right? When you're running a composition like this, you're not looking to shoot Pharmacy out of the sky because you're not running any hit scans. You are a dive composition. You're looking to just kill everyone on the ground as quickly as possible. Squishy targets preferable, but if there's only 4 guys, you can still kill them pretty quickly. And on Lighthouse, that's perfectly doable. Now, actually happened a few times on Lighthouse when Gumbo wasn't dying at the start of the fight. He would throw out a res, and sure, it would actually get a few members, but it actually just ended up evening the numbers back out because AHQ hadn't lost any members at that point. And if
Which is still a big deal, I think.
Yeah, if AHQ were committing ultimates to that, like several ultimates, then okay, that's an all right trade. But quite often, actually, AHQ were just getting the kills without using ultimates, like maybe a sound barrier to keep people alive, but suddenly you're using res and it's not the big swing that it actually is. Like if it swings it to a 6v4 in your favor, then it's great, but...
So let's talk about where the big swings are, because in a literal and figurative sense, Cowman had the biggest swings of the game for his team. The Dragon Blade from him it just was better than a decent amount of the ults coming out from Blank. Particularly, I think Aether had a couple of good pulse bombs, but the one near the end onto Lazy Titan, when Lazy Titan he just used a self-destruct anyway, which then killed Eat Up, was like, that's painful to watch. If you're Eat Up, then that was super painful, because not only did you waste an ult, and then like what you wasted it into ends up killing you. I think Cowman, back to what I was actually trying to say, is Cowman pulled a decent amount of weight with the Dragon Blade himself. Not only was he killing Gumbo, he was just getting targets regardless. There weren't moments where you thought, wow, he's actually not getting a lot of kills here. There were times on, I think it was Ruins, when Eat Up pulled the Genji out, where, this wasn't super effective. Eat Up got a decent amount of picks at the start, which gave Blank a decent amount of momentum to work with, but I think Lazy Titan counter-sniping on the Widow was probably the wrong choice.
I was actually just sort of about to bring that one up there. When you're sort of playing that mirror matchup there, you need to be, I guess, like the more mechanically skilled team, and it just looked like Blank in that situation were just, just cut above when it comes to all aspects of that sort of mirror matchup.
It does, like when you're in a Widow v Widow situation, it's quite binary, right? If you have the better Widow, then you're simply just going to win a lot of the team fights.
Lazy Titan did some good shots.
I mean, yes, there's other factors to it, but it's a lot more binary than simple like other compositions.
Let me tell you what the situation was. It's regardless of the Widow's skill themselves, it's the actual setup you give to the Widow and the actual denial of the other Widow. So the setup for Blank was Eat Up sits on the same spot he always sits on, right behind the bush, and because he plays on low settings, he doesn't see the bush anyway, so whatever. He shoots through the bush, perfect angles, he knows exactly where AHQ is going to pop out. Pretty standard play. Did you see any AHQ members pressure him at that point? You didn't, because they kind of just died. Now when you look at Lazy Titans, I can't speak to what happened during the moments that Eat Up got a kill, but when we finally saw Lazy Titan, he was on the ground getting harassed by Genji, he was on the ground getting harassed by Kiki on Winston as well. It was a bit of a disaster for him. And when you finally see his point of view, he's taking shots on the ground, low angles, not securing the kills. Good damage, but no securing of kills. Ends up being kind of a waste of time on the Widowmaker. So while it is individual skill pretty important, what's even more important is how are you setting up your Widow so that they have the best chance to get the shots off, best angles and the least pressure, and how are you making the other Widow's life just the worst, preventing angles, pressuring them, making them force onto you instead of your support to the back, which they actually want to shoot.
Well, AHQ have just picked up King's Row here, so I mean, we've seen, I guess, the strength from Blank, that they have on King's Row. I sort of talked about it being one of their weaker maps, at the start of their OPC, and now that they've really, I guess, had a chance to, I guess, get comfortable on this map. They look extremely strong here, so I think both of these teams
found the right wedge in their seat.
There you go, you know.
I think the last time, though, that Blank actually lost on King's Row was way back in the summer series, actually, to Aputo's old team, MA Lakers.
Yes. That was only February, it wasn't that long ago.
There was even one after that on ESL.
Back in 1978, when the last
back in ESL as well.
But
well,
you're
it's
right.
feeling like that, right? I mean, these guys are on something like an over 40 win streak.
Well, going to be
Let's
AHQ
see
defending
if they
first.
can continue that win streak, won't we?
And the Reinhardt coming out from the side of AHQ on the defense here. It's going to be ATAR.
This is Faraday.
Still on the
When's
Faraday.
Faraday?
They're going to have to deal
Today
with
we
Dizzy.
will play only Pharah.
And that's what this feels like. It's a bit of like, Eta, can you continue to be really good on Pharah? We'll give you a shot here. Doesn't look like it as AHQ find those two early
Dizzy
kills
gives him
there.
a shot.
Oh, indeed he does. Oh my goodness, indeed he does. Pushing all the way out the gate there as well. Pays for that one with his life, getting a little bit too aggressive there as Eat Up is there to finish that one off. But Blank going to be forced back here. Going to have to rethink their attack on this next one.
So here's the thing, AHQ up until now haven't actually run hard counters to Pharah. They've run soft counters, they throw Eric in on there for, you know, all we know. Now they're actually running Dizzy on Soldier. I don't know if Atar's still safe in the air.
Well, Eat Up pushing up into the back here, taking down Eric. So Reinhardt down now for the side of AHQ. This should be the opening that Blank were looking for. Indeed, they're going to be able to push Dizzy all the way out of this fight, but Kalman keeping things alive. Great stuff here as well. Nano Boost coming in on top of this one, 100 charge. What a hero play here. It's Kalman just holding the point down.
I think Eat Up misplayed that situation. Twice he didn't go for Dizzy. Twice he decided to go to Kalman, and you're wondering, look, how does Kalman have so much energy charge? Well, stop going for the Zarya and actually shoot the Soldier. So Eat Up dives behind the team, behind the archway, goes for the Zarya. Dizzy falls back to get a health pack through that narrow room, doesn't finish Dizzy off, doesn't secure the kill. Maybe he was scared of the Helix rocket, and he is rightfully so to be scared of that, but I think he should have went for the kill because Dizzy came back and killed them anyway, then secured the rest onto Blank, and now Blank are going into a situation where they have to attack again.
Oh, sound barrier now coming in. Atar's just switched over to Soldier as well. Oh, there it goes. Lazy Titan with the double self-destruct. Blank need to fall back out of this one, and they need to run away, and indeed they will right there. Not an overcommitment coming in from Eat Up, so good retreat from him.
Now, well, Blank 2 minutes down and 2 minutes left to go. Got a decent amount to play with here. Kind of good that Gumbo didn't use the Transcendence into the Graviton Surge. I think a lot of Zenyatta's would have looked at that and be like, well, this is the knee-jerk reaction I'm going to have to that. But Gumbo played around the self-destruct pretty well. Let's see if Thrill can get a good angle into the back line.
Yeah, snuck over that wall there. Very sneaky-like indeed, but that sound barrier now coming out for the side of AHQ, looking to keep them alive. They get a couple, but now Dizzy's going to answer back here. Has that nano visor coming through, and that's going to be all AHQ need. Great sleep there as well onto the Winston there, and AHQ are playing this perfectly. You can see now why they picked this one up. Definitely outplaying Blank here on their defense.
Oh, I hope we get to see Lazy Titan here because we need to be able to block out Atar's visor.
It looks
and
like
so
it
far,
came
you
out.
can't get past Lazy Titan. Lazy Titan is always there to prevent Dizzy from dying. Whenever Dizzy's in trouble, guess what? Lazy Titan's right there.
And that is why Lazy Titan is the best diva in the tournament, I feel. Doing a stellar job right now, keeping the boys alive and obviously finding kills of his own as well. And AHQ looking very strong.
We're under
now.
a minute.
50 seconds left on the clock there, and with ultimates as well, they've got that big Earth Shatter to work with, self-destruct and a nano boost as well.
What a Blank have? They're out. They're out. They're shooting blanks now.
Oh my goodness, this is absolutely disastrous for Blank as they try and walk into this next attack. Kalman going to be charged up and also has that Graviton to work with. There's absolutely...
AHQ should go. They should just attack. The longer AHQ wait, the more chance Blank have to actually charge up. And here comes the aggression now from AHQ. Finally, no ultimates used. They want to see if they can get an opening pick without any ultimates, but they might just have to commit here.
There's that Graviton Surge. Doesn't manage to pick enough of them up, but it doesn't matter. Self-destruct. Oh, where was that Transcendence? It wasn't even there. And now Gumba jumping down to his death, it seems. Lazy Titan pouncing right onto that one. Nano Visor just there to clean everything up. And that's going to be AHQ holding down point number 1 on Kings Row, stopping Blank in their tracks.
Welcome back to the Overwatch Summer Series, where MA Lakers once again hold Blank for the first checkpoint of Kings Row. And a Blank going to be able to get this one back. I don't know. You failed to kill Dizzy. You failed to cap the point. Eat Up had the chance. He blew the chance. They lost the chance. And Blank don't get the first checkpoint whatsoever. And if you're AHQ right now, all you got to do is get past 33% because that's all Blank got.
Yeah, Blank are going to need to come up with something big on their defense there. Lazy Titan just waving to the camera saying, you guys are welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome for that little victory. Thanks
He's
to
been
me.
the MVP because, like, as much as Dizzy's been playing good, he's being enabled to play good by Lazy Titan. You saw that. You go onto Lazy Titan, you want to kill him. Here's a Matrix. Have a free Matrix. How do you like that? You don't, because you wanted to kill You wanted to kill Dizzy, and you never did. Dizzy did not die a single time, and his damage output was crazy.
I mean, I'm really surprised there. You've sort of mentioned it really came down to Eat Up, not really pouncing, I guess, onto Dizzy. They took down the Reinhardt. They took down the Reinhardt super early in that, But I guess it also comes down onto, they take the Reinhardt down thinking, oh, we've got this one now, boys. But a Lazy Titan pretty much being, I guess, the poor man's version of a Reinhardt in that situation.
He's the most unlaziest Titan I've ever seen. The guy's so active. He's so active, like, I'm going to shut down this guy. Oh, wait, Dizzy getting attacked. I'm going to protect him again. And I'm going to shut down this guy. And
then I'm going to get 2 kills myself.
Everywhere he needs to be. And just doing a great job of it.
So I've got to take it back, right? I mean, I said, oh, he's the best offensive diva in the tournament so far.
Just the best general diva.
If he keeps playing
just
like
all
this,
round.
he's now suddenly the best defensive one as well.
Which
makes him the
by
best
the way,
diva.
that just means you're the best.
Yeah.
I think we talked about this last weekend about how we sort of rated, I guess, Lazy Titan as, you know, the best diva in the tournament. And I mean, he's definitely showing it now, is he not?
Absolutely. You know, Dizzy's one of the scariest DPSs as well. One of the best hit scans, and one of the most consistent hit scans. I've been more impressed with Dizzy than I have with Zonda. Zonda's had variable performances on Flash Wolves. Dizzy has had consistent performances on hit scan, on AHQ, the entire tournament.
Oh, I like this here. It's going to be Kalman running with the Hog. So, I mean, if he manages to land a hook here and just open
Trill.
this one up, that's just going to be all she wrote for Blank, I feel. Now, Kalman actually over in a good position, managing to get himself.
Where's Blank, though? Do you see their position? They're, like, kind of held back, kind of in hotel. I like this, kind of a counter-attack, but this is going to be AHQ. Moving up around the clock tower. I think they're expecting ATAR to be hiding up here somewhere. They want to deny ATAR from the spot, give Dizzy the positioning, and AHQ will set up a win.
And they have absolutely gifted Dizzy control of this high ground now. He still has defense as well, so you see Trill trying to get around in the back lines there and sneak up on him, but Eric N's going to say absolutely no way, Jose, to that one.
Okay, Edop went down, Crappy gets traded, but who cares about that because Trill is down as well. There's 2 DPSs, you just got Edop. ATAR's the only one left for the DPS. This is absolutely disastrous for Blank.
AHQ have definitely done their homework here. I mean, everything on ATAR, not enough as he can only find 1 kill with a Helix rocket here. And that's going to be all she wrote. AHQ now equalized the series 1-1 in absolutely record-breaking time there. Oh, good feelings all around. Give me a slap.
Drink that bottle.
That is...
All 3 of you drink that bottle.
Yeah,
right.
You notice, like, where is
You
Crappy?
deserve it.
He doesn't even need a sweat towel out for that
Everybody give me a fist right there. There we go.
Oh,
You too, at the back. Don't forget the guy at the back. That's Kalman.
And I mean, most
Deservedly
definitely, yeah,
so.
most definitely.
There's the play game, and then there's the play of the game, and this is both.
I mean, like, not only just this one though, all of them,
Play of
everything he
King's
does.
Row.
Oh my goodness.
That's the crazy thing. He's the kind of diva that's just like, look, I don't need a plant. Basic diva self-destruct play is like, I'm going to fly here, sit here, press Q, and then good luck. Lazy Titan level of diva player is like, here's my trajectory of the diva bomb. It's going to land exactly there. See ya, other team. Have fun, Blank.
He's so confident in when he just sort of launches it. Have you noticed that when it comes out? Like, even when I'm watching, I'm just like, that's going to kill somebody.
Well, I mean, it's all very premeditated.
What's the Olympic sport where you get the thing on the ice and then you got the guys with the brooms?
Oh my god.
That's what HQ are doing. They're like, Lazy Titan's like, yep, here we go. And everyone is like, yep.
It's on the tip of my tongue.
The rest of HQ's like, yep. And there's the double kill.
Oh it's on the tip of my tongue. What is the name of that?
Curling. Curling. They're playing curling.
Oh, you should know all about curling, mate.
Not that kind of curling, mate.
Different kind of curling.
But I
also,
mean, like, clearly AHQ have been doing that kind of curling,
Yeah,
right? They come into that.
I love that. That is top.
it's exactly it. It's just like, let's just clear the way for this diva bomb, and Blank like,
why are we on King's Row again? No. I thought we learned how to play this map,
yeah, the
boys.
PTSD sinks in. It's like, this is Alpudo all over again.
Oh, not
no.
again, boys. How? And I guess like you've got to really give credit to AHQ. Their offense was just so. I'm going to use the word graceful again. That was graceful.
Well, I'll give it to you this time because you're right.
It was so nice.
Because it was this is the thing. It's a calculated setup where they're saying, we need to secure high ground. We're going to do that as a team. We're going to deny the high ground from the other team. Put Dizzy up there. Even put carries on the Ana up there. Just win the game. It's exactly what they did. Look, Kalman. We were like, what's Kalman doing on Hog? Is he going to get a kill? Yeah.
On Edop?
I'm going to assume he got the hook because it's incredibly difficult to kill Edop on Tracer without the hook. He gets the hook, gets the headshot, see ya, Edop. Then Trill dies on the Genji as well. Wow, is that 2 out of your 3 DPS?
But don't worry, they killed Lucio though. They did get Lucio.
Yeah, who
Rest
cares?
in- rest-
Yeah, it's like Crappy's already got his towel.
I'll skate back
Here's
in
the
2
thing.
seconds,
Here's
bro.
the thing, Crappy doesn't even come out of spawn. He sits there with his towel and he's just like, we've already won.
He didn't even need to get the towel out at the end of that one. You know, usually you see
because he pre-did it. He did it while he was waiting in the spawn room because he knew his team had won.
He's already tweeting the victory as well.
Yeah, he already alt-tabbed to check the time.
Oh, that's a meme back to the first game of the night. Well, I mean, okay, so let's talk about the Roadhog, right? Because, I mean, you already have, but also it plays into how AHQ are saying, okay, what are Blank going to run on defense? So how can we counter this the best possible way? So they've been playing triple DPS.
Yeah, they always run Tracer. They never not run Tracer.
Yeah, and
that's
hey,
one.
Winston's been coming out a whole lot. Imagine if I get a hook on the biggest target in the game. Oh, whoa, that'd be a really easy kill. My shotgun, every single pellet is going to hit that Winston. One of the best ways to take him out of the game. Now, to be fair, Trill was not hooked for quite a while. He was actually getting quite a lot of cleave damage as they were going up into that room onto the balcony. But at the same time, like the threat of the hook is always there. He had to peek out. He could never be out there for too long.
Trill
Trill was on the Winston, wasn't he?
Trill was on Genji.
Okay, well, look. Let's just pretend. I didn't say
Trill was
Trill.
on Genji, just like Japanese teams back no, but yeah, okay. But you're talking about Winston.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hey, Winston. I'm going to assume
go
Kiki
by
then,
hero
right?
names. Go by hero names.
Let's. Yeah. I'll go again. I've got like a 4 out of 5 chance.
Yeah.
Of getting it wrong. So Kiki was on the Winston. You want to say I was right?
Yes.
Yes, correct.
There you go. Look. I guessed correctly. Well done, me. Now, yeah, like I was saying. So he has to peek out almost like the way Afara plays, because you get hooked by that Roadhog, you're suddenly dead. And that's a huge part of your defense done, and that just changed the way the Blank had to play. They couldn't aggressively go onto this 6-man death ball going up to get Dizzy into position.
You're right because they couldn't, but they wanted to. Blank did a fireball, they ran the counter dive, and then never initiated on the counter dive.
That's also because AHQ was so good.
Yeah, but it's like, so two part. One part is Blank didn't execute their defensive strategy. Second part is AHQ knew what their strategy was and correctly countered it.
Because there was that moment where Trill, he set up on the statue for, I don't know, it seemed like an eternity there, while AHQ was trying to, I guess, scope out where he was hiding. Yeah. And then when he finally managed to get around the backside there, and when they almost left Dizzy alone by himself, Eric was like, actually, you know what, I'll just stay with you. And just had the shield up there with him. So Trill was kind of being like, do I go in? Do I go? Ooh,
no way.
Can I go in? No.
And this is the thing. I want to speak to Eat-Up getting killed. We didn't see this, but based on the way he plays and based on what I know his tendencies are, which is he's balls to the wall and he will take fights. He's like, you were saying, like, Trill's like, should I go? Should I? Nah, it doesn't look good. Eat-Up is just, I just almost did it myself. Eatar, the ultimate DPS player. Eat-Up says, I'm gonna do something here. I'm gonna make a play. Kalman says, no, you don't. You don't make a play today.
It's probably Eat-Up saying, oh, there's a hog. I'm gonna kill him.
I'm sort of drawing straws here a little bit, but based on Eat-Up's gameplay, he's the type of tracer that will go for the 1v1s. Like the first time I've not seen him go for the 1v1 was when Dizzy chunked him out so hard.
He's like, I'm all right. I'm all good. I'm all right.
Well, like, I lose a bit of pride, but I will fall out. My parents won't be happy, but I will fall out.
For any of the Aussie fans back at home, don't worry, boys. I'll get them next time.
Yeah, but it's like in 99 out of 99 situations, 99 100 situations, Eat-Up will take the 1v1 play. He will always take the aggressive line of play where he's not afraid to duel you. He's not afraid to get the damage up on it. That's good in some. It's good against players that are not confident, because players that are not confident will back out and they'll get picked off by Eat-Up. Now, Kalman's like, if you do that against me, you're going to get killed, and that's exactly what happened.
Well, speaking of one-on-ones, 1v1s even, Blank Esports taking on AHQ is currently 1-on-1. We're just going to take a quick break, and when we return, we'll be getting into map number 3. It's going to be Blank's pick, as they are the home team. Hello, and welcome back to the Overwatch Pacific Championship. I'm Dallas Easy Fight City. Joining me here, Kevin Walker and Matt Smite Ross, and we're currently in Blank Esports taking on AHQ Esports Club. The score is 1-1, and what a tight matchup we have here, lads.
I wish it was club versus club.
We need to talk to the Blank boys and be like, you guys need to put club on there, just so Easy never messes it up.
Club Blank, Club Esports Club?
Well, Blank have just picked Hanamura. We've seen them, I guess, come out.
Yeah, they didn't pick Anubis, the other map they lost to HQ last time.
First point as well.
By process of elimination, I feel like, before it comes up on the stream, I feel like Blank are going to pick Hanamura. What do you reckon?
They've been good though. Look, they beat Hong Kong Attitude not even soundly, they I'm going to be straight. They really wrecked Hong Kong Attitude on Hanamura, which is a map they lost to against Hong Kong Attitude. So, look, it was a huge comeback. And you got to say, after that, if you thought Blank was weak on Assault, I don't think they're weak on Assault anymore. I think, if anything, after dropping King's Row, it's almost looking like Escort, or even, not Escort, but Hybrid, could be the problem for Blank. And Assault, their problems look like they've been fixed. But I will hold my breath a little bit, because it's against AHQ, and AHQ...
They've shown strength on
That was
Hanamura
great.
as well.
And I think you should hold your breath because yep. How long can he go? Like I reckon.
We
probably a
actually
while,
need you to
but-
cast, I think.
Oh,
so.
yeah, true,
Yeah.
true.
So like probably just hold your breath. I don't know after the cast. But the thing is, on King's Row, that was entirely Assault style. The Assault's part of.
You're
Hybrid.
right, because it was one cat.
Exactly, right? So remember how that played out for Blank and what the biggest problem was. Dizzy just bodyguarded the heck out of. Like, no one was able to touch that guy. Think about that situation on Hanamura. First point, you've got that roof position.
Lazy Titan's basically Kevin Costner at this point.
Exactly right. Dizzy's going to be flying straight up to... Sorry, not Dizzy. Dizzy Soldier can't fly. Well, he can with rocket jump, but that's not what I'm getting at, right? A little bit. But Lazy Titan...
White man can jump.
Lazy Titan is going to be flying straight up to Dizzy anytime he's in trouble. Anytime you hear like, oh, help me, I'm the DPS, I need some help.
Is that what he,
Wow,
is that what he sounds like?
Do you think
Is that what you say when you play DPS? I don't know any DPS that says that.
It's effective, right? Because Lazy Titan's flying up and saving him every single time. Now that's going to be the case first point Hanamura, and that's not even getting into what it's going to be like on second point. You've got all these different places Dizzy can stand. Lazy Titan can... He's the one that can fly. He can go up between them, and then that's not to mention every other bodyguard that they're going to have. They might have an Ana looking after him. Nano Boost is going to make him even harder to take down. So the win condition for Blank is kill Dizzy, but AHQ are making that the hardest thing in the world, and Hanamura enables them to do that on defense.
So this is what Blank are really good at on Hanamura. They can break through the opening gates pretty securely. They're going to, look, Genji trace it, guaranteed. There's no way Blank don't run it. Seriously,
The real question is who plays who?
Well, I mean, Edup's going to play Tracer.
Well, that's obvious, but I mean, do they put Trill on the Genji? I think not.
No, yeah, they do. They put Trill on the Genji.
Are they going to do Pharah again?
No, they do 3 DPS. I think it might be a Pharah. If it's not a Pharah, it's going to be Atar on Soldier, Trill onto the Genji, and they will break through. No matter what it is, it's either triple DPS or not, or 2-2-2. Blank are great at breaking through the initial gates. Then they surround you, they get the 2 mobile DPSs, you get cornered, you get wiped out. That's Blank's MO through and through. Now, Blank's MO in defense, they don't let you through the door. Good luck breaking through the door, because they're going to shove 2 tanks, maybe 3 tanks in your face. If they don't do that, they will counter dive you, because they're going to play Tracer anyway. And what they couldn't do on King's Row, I expect them to be able to do here. And what AHQ did on King's Row, you can't pull that against Blank on Hanamura, because there's no corners you can sort of run through where you can't get counter dive. Maybe you can try and break left, but I expect Blank to jump on you anyway. It's going to be AHQ attacking first.
So they do put the ball in AHQ's court here first, seeing how what AHQ can throw at them here. Going to be Kalman back on the hog, seeing if he can pick up one of those early picks. And I mean, look at that good positioning now coming out from AHQ.
Let me correct myself. So I said you couldn't really break through that easily. So if you go through the right side and it's completely uncontested.
It's pretty easy.
Well, it's not pretty easy, but it's an entry point that AHQ have now securely gotten themselves. And now AHQ are in the defender's position. This is actually where Blank wants to be. Blank, where Dizzy is, Blank want to be sitting there.
And now Dizzy in such a great position. Where is any Blank player to contest Dizzy? It needs to happen right now. But Dizzy going to be all over the player that should be on him.
He lost the high ground. I don't like that. Dizzy should have kept the high ground.
But now Atar managing to keep himself alive up on his own high ground. And this should be now where Blank can take the fight back to AHQ. They've got them now caught in this position here.
No picks. No one got picks.
But this is going to be AHQ making their way now into the point.
Look at the control. Look at the positioning. Blank are off the point. AHQ got the point.
But now Eat Up though with that pulse bomb will be able to pick that kill up there. Now RQT just finishing off another one. Now Eat Up just being the thorn in the side of AHQ here. And indeed, there goes Eric. He should be all over Kalman. Indeed, he drops there as well. Atar actually committing the tack visor to finish up this fight. Maybe a little bit of an overcommitment there coming in from Blank, but I mean, a hold is a hold.
So the good news for Blank is they actually let 0% go. Really important. Really important they got the 0%. 2 ultimates. It's kind of 3 ultimates actually. Pulse bomb's committed. So Eat Up really opened things up. But you see how long it took for Eat Up to actually get in there to make a play? They actually get to come in back with ultimates. They've got to make the same play, and they should. If they make the same rotations around, get them in the same positions again. This time they got the ultimates to play with. Blank got nothing. If AHQ commit and they execute properly, they should win.
Well, they execute a lot quicker this time. Now sound barrier
Wow,
coming through.
okay.
Where is
Yep.
Blank?
Hello.
They are gone off the point here. What has just happened? This nano boosted Reinhardt
See you on point two, ladies.
swinging away at the side of Blank, and that's it. Blank gonna have to reset now. And can AHQ snowball off that? It looks like they can. Got a couple of ultimates as well.
they can't, because self-destruct and whole hog not really enough yet. I also don't expect Kalman to stay on hog. I think hog is severely less effective. I expect him to stay on just for the ultimate, and when ultimate wears off, then go on to something like Genji, something a little bit more flexible, whereas hog is a little bit more one-dimensional for this type of push anyway. Blank, with the good sound barrier, I expect them to hold. Now for AHQ, their win condition here is not going to be based on ult, it's going to be based on position and position only. Get Dizzy on the high ground, keep him up there, completely just bodyguard the hell out of the guy, and you can outfrag Blank. But Blank's ultimates are coming online, so it's dangerous.
They're already doing that. Kiki jumps up to have a bit of a contest.
Enough, what was that?
Now Stairs being contested out as well from the side of AHQ. There comes that self-destruct being sent up onto the high ground. Will it find anything?
Nope.
Absolutely
You're
not.
no Lazy Titan.
But ATAR going to be able to take down Crappy here now. Lazy Titan unleashes the self-destruct of his own.
Bam!
Boom! There it goes. Going to be ATAR dropping to that one. Now this has opened things up here for AHQ. The Earthshatter coming down as well, buying them a lot of time here on the point. There goes Trill's
wow.
mech. Kiki going to be dropping into this one as well. Eat Up trying to keep things alive, picking himself up a pair here. And now Dizzy finally getting contested out by himself. But Dizzy, too strong. He is going to take that kill out as he suicides himself.
He's so strong, he's like, I must leave now.
I must win this fight and go back to the gym. Nice little delayed kill here onto Lazy Titan though, so good
Dizzy
stuff.
says, I must go back to my people. I've defeated Eat Up and now I will return.
He's just like, remember me, remember me. Oh, well, good stuff there from AHQ, though, to get things popping. They do keep the hog going, though.
Yeah, so... Okay, so Kalman will stay on the hog for the time being. It's not the end of the world. I think... I prefer the Genji here. I think the Genji's a bit more flexible.
Watch his position, though.
But the availability to actually get a pick kill with the hook is still really good. I expect AHQ to kind of back out here. They would have been safe, to be honest. I think they would have still been safe just in that little corridor. And yeah, they are safe there. They're not going to fully back out, which I think is good. You don't want to concede all your positioning, but you do want to respect that it's a 5v6.
ATAR's positioning looking really good here. Obviously, AHQ try to push up onto that high ground there. ATAR going to be able to unleash a very strong tactical visor from up there. And indeed, AHQ do push all the way up to the high ground. Dizzy, though, all over ATAR, not letting him have any room to peek now. Carrer's great biotic grenade there to keep the side of AHQ alive through this one. Now, Dizzy
Primal Rage?
with a tactical visor of his own, and they do have the boost to work with as well. So let's see, will they be able to come out on top of this one? But Kiki's rage is too much for Crappy to bear right now. Gets taken out early into that one. But Dizzy, look at this position from him still, just holding on this corner here.
So you know, remember what I said about Detonator versus Fireball? You got to get the Primal Rage up because that's the biggest stall option. Without Primal Rage, Blank don't have as good of a stall option to actually keep the point alive. So for AHQ, actually getting the Primal Rage and backing out, good choice because now they get to come in, keep the same ultimates. They didn't lose any other players, so they didn't feed any ults. In fact, they fed 0 ults because Primal Rage got the kill, which means Kiki didn't even get any ult charge himself. AHQ got really important ult out of Blank, and now they can reset up, and they haven't lost, realistically haven't lost too much. Oh, okay, no, they just completely changed their push. That works too, I guess. Why not?
So
Why not?
they've jumped in and gone down to the left side.
Just change it up.
And now ATAR going to be uncontested up on that high ground. Self-destruct coming through, and again, not a Lazy Titan styled one there as it comes out from Trill. But look at those 4 ultimates still in the bank there for the side of Blank. Now Lazy Titan going to be dropping out of this.
They got to get rid of ATAR. This is the problem. Like I don't like. This is why I didn't like the AHQ change positioning. I was like, they should have kept the push going on the side they were, because now how do you contest ATAR? You have to contest ATAR while simultaneously putting Dizzy in the correct spot, and you do that by taking the top right, by taking this left side positioning. Dizzy's not going to have a good spot, and you don't deal with ATAR, so I don't like this push.
Well, you can see that they're having a bit of a chat now, trying to work out what is going to be the option.
They didn't work it out fast because you're running out of time.
So if Dizzy comes from this angle here and manages to shoot up onto the high ground as they're not ready for it, but there comes the sound barrier now from AHQ. Big commit now coming through. There it is from Dizzy. It's going to be Lazy Titan
somewhere.
Committing up on the high ground there. He manages to take down Trill's mech, but we don't see what ATAR's doing up on the high ground there. He probably is not finding anything. Big whole hog there, going to be taking down Kiki into this one. And now AHQ all over the point here. Where is ATAR? Nowhere to be found, it seems. Just sleeping on the job over here. And this is going to be Oh my goodness, Blank being pushed off the point here. Now they're getting themselves halfway through the cap here. Where are the Blank players? It's going to be Trill jumping back onto this just to keep it alive there. Now ATAR answering the fight here up on the back lines, but he's being pushed out ever so slightly, but it matters not. He is going to be able to stop this attack.
This is a huge defense from Blank, and I think ASU committed so much to that outside fight. The entire nanovisor was spent taking down tanks outside the point. And what Dizzy really wanted was he wanted to kill supports and DPSs. Now, killing ATAR, killing Gumba, killing all of those guys, killing Eat-Up would have been huge. Kiki did a really, really cute kind of play as well. He jumped off, you thought he suicided, I thought he suicided. He knew he had cooldown, he jumped back up again. Yeah, he died, but it wasted a lot more time for HQ. And because they committed all their big damage outside, they got no big damage to actually steal the point inside. With no time left to go.
Oh, nice pulse bomb coming through from Eat Up, and that should be that. 15 seconds left on the clock now. Trill cleaning up another one, and now ATAR should just be able to go to work here. Shouldn't have much pressure put onto him. Finally, Lazy Titan throws out a self-destruct.
Not even a Lazy Titan self-destruct can save them.
And that is going to be all she wrote right here. 0 seconds left. Overtime ticking down. Anyone from AHQ to keep this one alive? A hero, Reinhardt, and a Crappy just trying to keep this one alive. Just gets knocked off the point. Nothing that they can do here. Blank do hold this one down at point number 2, but 51% on the cap.
What's that? And a Crappy is like... Yeah, I'm going
Crappy.
A hero Reinhardt and his Crappy. Come Crappy, attend me.
Right away, sir.
Look, the sweat towel's out now from Crappy, though. He's like, oh, that wasn't...
Attend me, Crappy. Young Crappy, attend me to this point.
Well, now we've seen, obviously, Blank's offense on this been extremely good, and I feel the lineup they're going to go for is going to have a little bit more snowball potential.
So AHQ had everything going correct for... Mostly correct. More things were going correct for Blank for obvious reasons, but right at the end there, when they decided to change up their attacking angle, still don't agree with that. I just don't. I can't agree with it because no matter which way you slice and no matter which way you look at it from any angle, again, you have not secured a good position for Dizzy, and again, you have not denied ATAR. So the two things that AHQ absolutely needed to achieve, they got none. And that's a big problem. Why change up your offense? Look, maybe, yeah, there's a lot of resistance on the top right, and for good reason, because Blank, no, look, that's AHQ's winning condition. They need to sit their hit scan up on the top line. So Blank aren't going to give that to you. You've got to fight them for it, and they almost had it. They got the Primal Rage out. Their next push, if they had pushed up the same way again, what were Blank going to do? Primal Rage again? No. So that was going to be a positional win for AHQ. They should have done it. They didn't do it, and I think that cost them the game.
I think maybe I'm just trying to defend AHQ here. I think they tried to go quickly down there with the speed boost from the Lucio. I sort of pointed it out.
You want to defend AHQ, if you do what Blank did, you'll defend AHQ.
No, I think they speed boosted through there, jumped off the bridge, and tried to get up and around behind ATAR. But obviously ATAR he's a soldier. There's no way you can catch him out.
Check out that sick zoom in.
Check out that sick turret.
Yeah, I see you, turret. You don't surprise me.
Well, I really doubt that the turret.
So here's the thing. Crappy runs Torbjorn all the time. I think you expect the turret to be there. I think there's no way you don't expect it to be there.
Yeah, so Eat Up just goes through there, manages to get himself some much needed intel as he goes through the gates there, just warps back out, and now this is going to be Blank pushing through here.
No one shot the turret.
Oh wow, they're not even bothered about it. They're just going straight onto a Zaya. Questionable place indeed. Now that should be a lot of charge gone his way, but ATAR though, he does manage to take the turret out. Now Blank coming out slightly ahead into this one. Eat Up managing to get down the mech as well, and this is going to be very hard now for him to
as long as Dizzy is alive, the game is not over, and Dizzy has been picking up all the kills for AHQ. Unfortunately, his bodyguard buddy, Lazy Titan, did fall over there, and I was wrong about one thing. Blank didn't run the triple DPS going to this one. That was optional anyway. I kind of said, look, even if Blank ran 2-2-2, it was going to be effective. They were going to break out a door. They did break out a door. The only thing that was questionable was I might have missed this, but it didn't look like they dealt with the turret straight away.
No, it was quite delayed there from ATAR. Just picked it up after he got himself a kill there. And now Blank having to rethink this one. Looking how they're going to come into this next shot there. Oh, nice grab there, but it doesn't pick up everyone through the corner.
They don't get any kill. Well, they got one kill, so it's kind of, oh, that's a sleep dart. Can they capitalize off the sleep dart? That's a question because their one kill on Kiki prevents the push. Getting the second kill on the sleep dart target forces the full reset where Blank actually have to pull back.
Well,
and can't actually contest the
ATAR
door
tactical visor there and got nothing.
anymore. Did he?
Yeah.
That's a big one for HQ then, because guess what? Dizzy's got his.
And that is going to be disastrous. There's also that Molten Core as well, and now the armor is actually out in force as well for the side of HQ, but nice opener there from Eat-Up as he drops the Pulse Bomb all over Crappy's face.
That's big, because now there's no Molten Core.
And that is indeed huge now. Oh, but that Helix Rocket going to be taking down ATAR, getting him caught on the pole there. Gumba not there to save him with the Transcendence. Can't even keep RQT alive through that one. Now Dizzy all in this one, taking down these Blank players. True with the pistol there on the Diva, getting himself a little bit of a consolation. It's actually going to be Kiki trying to keep this one alive now, but Lazy Titan should be able to find himself a Diva. And look at this angry Winston, comes in for a little punch and then see you, mate.
That feel when Trill wins the eco with the pistol versus rifle, like that feel.
Don't know what you're talking about, mate. Oh, here it is, Lazy Titan with the self-destruct. Will it be the big one indeed? It's going to be enough to hold this offense off yet again. Nice double there coming in from Lazy Titan.
So guess what? If you can just hold the first cap, you don't even need to hold the second one. So for HQ, good strat. And it's almost, as much as I said, like, hey, Crappy died in the Molten Core, good kill from Eat Up, and it was the fact that Crappy comes back with the Molten Core. And it's a big enough ultimate that it's very difficult to address as well. Like, that one ultimate could be enough for HQ to completely hold it up. And they have to, because they got nothing else.
Well, Blank finally changed their attacking route now. Self-destruct coming in. Oh, right in the corner. Does manage to find only a turret,
That's actually big, because there's no Molten Core turret now, so that's important.
Yeah, RQT actually finishes off that second one that was getting built as well. Now Blank do manage to push them ever so slightly off the point. Don't manage to get any cap time yet though, but ATAR now with the attack visor. Is there any defensive plays on the side of HQ? But it doesn't matter when there's a massive bell in your way.
K4?
Oh my goodness, no.
Is that
and
a
now,
K4?
Blank pick themselves up a couple. It's going to be ATAR having to get this cap himself now. The turret goes up. There's no way ATAR can stay alive. He gets taken down here. 26 seconds left now. Nano Boost coming on to Dizzy.
Straight
what
into
can
Matrix
Blank do?
Good Matrix from Trill, but it won't be enough. 18 seconds. It's desperation for Blank. I think Blank are going to dive members, and as soon as they start diving members, HQ going to be here for clean up, but it's still pretty even on both sides. Wow.
No way right there. This is Blanca doing it. The sound barrier comes through. Oh, big sleep though. That's huge right there. Can it capitalize? It's going to be RQT paying with his life instead of Eat Up now. And where are the rest of these Blank members? They need to get themselves back in here. Overtime taking down. Big Earthshed, but nothing into that Transcendence right now. And this has got to be Blank coming up with this one. They take down Eric. And oh my goodness, in the nick of time, they somehow managed to get themselves onto the point. And they should be able to cap this one, but they've still got a whole 50% left to go.
Wow, it's like RQT ends up being the real bodyguard. He takes a literal bullet for his teammate. You expected Eat Up to die there. You expect a sleep dart at that range with that many members around. Secured kill. And every time Eat Up has gone down, it's been a big deal for them. You know Blank is serious when Eat Up plays Soldier, because we haven't seen an Eat Up Soldier since, like, I want to say the entire tournament, because it's non-existent. You play Eat Up only on Tracer. The fact that they're bringing Eat Up onto Soldier, I think Blank is serious.
And the ATAR Genji as well.
They're ready to win.
The ATAR Genji making a triumphant return there.
They're really ready to win.
Dizzy going to be taking down Kiki early into this one. Now ATAR going to be dropping as well. Great pressure here. Now Dizzy abusing that same position that ATAR was in as well. Has that tactical visor to hold on to as well. Kelman sitting on a Graviton Surge as well. So Blank looking quite like they're going to have to drop a few fights coming into these next few.
Troll has to eat this grab as well for them to be really far ahead. Eating the grab would force out the Nano Visor. The next play from AHQ is either going to be grab or Nano Visor, but it should never be both, because one of those combos should secure the win. I prefer the Nano. No, okay, they're going to go for the grab. I prefer the Nano Visor, but that's fine. The grab is good.
So the grab first here. Can they build enough ultimate though coming off this? Kelman pays right now. This could be a big mistake.
Now they have to Nano Visor. They don't have a choice. They must Nano Visor.
This could be a big mistake though, because now Eat Up has control of a high ground as well. Is that a self-destruct now on the side as well? Nano Visor coming through from the side of Blank. They're looking to get this one done here. They find that kill into Eric, and oh my goodness, this is disastrous now for AHQ. They had the advantage, and now great sound barrier though, keeping Blank alive through this one. Oh, nice Helix Rocket there, finds Kelman. This is huge for Blank as they find all the kills they need. What is happening? Oh my goodness, so it's a Crappy and a dream right now. The lone Torbjorn taking Eat Up off the high ground. And now the blade coming through as well from ATAR, but do they have enough ultimates left to keep these trickling members from AHQ off the point? Biotic Grenade should be there to deal with the Roadhog, but oh, watch out, here comes that self-destruct, but nothing out of that one.
Surprisingly misses, but it's going to be AHQ. They had the respawners. So the problem for Blanco is they use all the ultimates. That's okay. They got the initial kills, and it's so close to capping out, but I don't know if Blank can do this because all the respawners from AHQ finally make it out, and without further ultimates to actually close this one, to close the offense, I don't know if Blank got what it takes.
With 1 minute 30 left, they're going to need to build up a lot of ultimates here. Have one
boy.
onto Gumba
Oh
there.
boy, this game changes so much. I can't even. I am so. How do you do that? How do you do this?
Oh, look at this. Look how they also getting a very delayed kill here onto Trill. Going to be trying to jump off the edge here. Should be one of these players taking him out. It's going to be Kalman.
Okay, so here's the thing. I'll explain why I prefer the Nanovisor over the Grab for AHQ's start. What you want to do with the Grab is you want to use the Grab as a charger for your team. It's a big battery where your whole team get an ultimate. So if you Nanovisor first, and theoretically you win a fight off that, but even if you don't, you're sitting on 0 ultimates, then you play the Grab, which you theoretically do win the fight. Guess what? You recharge your Nanovisor. It's a big deal, and that's why you play it that order, not the order that actually plays.
Oh, Nano Blade here from ATAR finds nothing with it. Manages to get 1 kill, but it's not going to be enough here. It's all going to be on Eat Up now. Dizzy answering with the Nano Boost of his own here, using the Visor. Will it be enough mileage?
Gets the spray in there as well.
Oh my goodness, just playing ring around the rosy here. Now Eat Up going to be forced off the high ground and down into the fray. There should be a lot of pressure put onto him. Self-destruct's coming in. What can they find? Absolutely nothing here. But AHQ coming out on
16
top.
seconds.
This is disastrous now for Blank. They're not coming up with what they need in this fight here. They're going to be forced off the point. ATAR in a dream.
Boy.
Is it enough though?
Not as good as Crappy in a dream.
Not at all. Kalman just cleaning these ones up. There goes ATAR as well. And this is going to be ending in a draw here.
Crappy at 10 me. It is not a draw because
Oh no, they got more.
All up in arms. They won that.
They got more.
Yes, they did get more because in that situation, a draw cannot happen. A draw only happens if neither. Yeah, you fist everybody on that team because I would too. Everybody, you need to be able to actually cap. If you cap after 33%, you can't draw anymore because it's based on actual percentage. So if you get under 33%, then you can draw.
I'm in absolute shock and awe right now. I was thinking.
And so are Blank, so are the entire Blank lineup. You and all 6 members and 7 members if you include Serenity are kind of shocked. So one thing there is you see that one big successful fight for Blank. You see, wind yourselves back a little bit. I eat you up, sits on top of the high ground, and annihilates AHQ single-handedly. That was the win condition for AHQ. That was the win condition that AHQ never fulfilled. Had AHQ have done that, I wholeheartedly believe they would have capped out. So Blank did what AHQ could not, but also Blank couldn't close out that fight despite being so far ahead because they couldn't clean up the final members, allowing AHQ to get the respawns in time. And the problem with 2CP is, and this is critical, is you need to have enough ultimates or you need to have enough resources to play with post-initial fight, because unless you can get the full 6-man wipe down, which I don't believe is a very reliable thing at all, it just doesn't happen, not consistent whatsoever, you're going to get 5 out of 6. The last guy's going to stall out until the next respawner comes out. If you have no ultimates at that stage, when the respawns start to happen, your ability to cap out as the offenders just doesn't happen anymore.
But it also seems like they were just throwing everything in, or like all in on that fight, right?
Yeah.
And usually,
So it looks great to start with, and then it's like, how do we win?
So, but you're sitting like saying that's the strategy. You can't do that on a full cap. Now Blank were looking to only cap half the point, like
Exactly.
a little over 50%, right? So it's almost like Blank were saying we can just get 50% if we throw everything at this fight. And to their credit, they got what like 49%. They got very
it was like
close.
a pixel off.
So I've got to say, perhaps their mindset going into that fight was not, oh, we need to save a few ults just to clean up these respawns. Yes, that's usually good when you're trying to cap all the way around, but they're sitting at 50%, right? And maybe they believe, yes, we can actually just cap just that amount. And usually you do actually see that. You get about 50%, maybe sometimes even 2/3 if you're lucky, on a big all-in ult push. And Blank were trying to go for something like that. And unfortunately for them, they weren't calculating it correctly and only got about 49%.
Yeah. Also, counter trades happen. So the other side of the coin to that is the defenders also have to get counter trades. So to AHQ's credit, they also managed to get the kills. And if they had not gotten counter trades, if you're a 6-man unit, having control of the second, and then you kill 5, even if there's one dude left, even if the respawners come out, they're trickling member by member, you're going to pick them off. Now, that didn't happen because AHQ, A, got the kills in the initial fight, and B, their respawners came out and also got kills. So eventually, Blank get overpowered. You even see Eat Up, he's like, I got the best positioning on the whole map. I have to leave this now and contest a point because my whole team's dead. I'm the only one left that can do this. But yeah, this is if I'm struggling to be like, well, where did teams play wrong? I think both teams played really well. But biggest mistake of the night so far, AHQ didn't play the high ground, didn't secure Dizzy where Eat Up was, didn't fulfill that win condition. And really, if the takeaway for AHQ is, why didn't you win more? Why didn't you win harder? I think AHQ in a good spot.
I mean, yeah, a win's a win, obviously. It doesn't matter if you win by 2%.
But you always got to win harder.
Yeah, but that's exactly true. I mean, the thing to note
Super
there
win.
as well is that...
Yeah, you need a super win.
That was Blank of the home team, and that was their pick there. And they were obviously, leaning on that. The series being equaled out there, 1-1 coming into map 3, and now AHQ leading 2-1. Their map pick now
This is
as
the
well.
best result AHQ have ever had against Blank.
I mean,
And
this
the
is,
last time another team had this result, a two maps in, not even advantage, can I just be straight and say no team has led Blank?
No.
Blank has always led a series.
as I was about to say,
'cause
Blank with
against-
their back against the wall now.
They've
it's-
never been behind.
Yeah, against Hong Kong Attitude, that was almost a reverse sweep for Hong Kong Attitude. They picked up maps 3 and 4 to bring it to 2-2.
Do you think Blank just fly home to Australia if they lose? it's just like one loss.
Well,
and it's
I
just
mean,
like, well, where's my passport? Like,
I hope they hear that now, and they
No.
obviously fire up. They're like, oh, no, we can't have that.
No,
can't,
no, no.
can't have Avril being right.
But no. It's not even about that. I'm joking. But for AHQ, here are the facts. First time they've led, and first time where they're winning, I would say, kind of comfortably, where it's not like Hong Kong Attitude won 2 maps when Blank played poorly when they made a lot of mistakes. Blank aren't playing poorly. I think Blank are playing well, generally quite well. AHQ are playing just that much better. That 1% difference on Hanamura between Blank and AHQ winning, that's about how much better AHQ is currently playing. And if AHQ want to secure the series, they need to play at least that much better still.
Do you think that, because at the start of this, right, obviously Atar playing Pharah, they're trying to make him their new Pharah player, they don't want Trill on that. Trill's playing Genji, and they've got, Eat Up playing as Tracer there. And you know how when they were kind of like, oh, it's serious time for Blank, let's switch them over to what they're really good at, their main heroes, Atar on the Genji, Eat Up on the Soldier. Do you feel that maybe because they're a little bit out of practice, not practice, but they're not completely warmed up, I feel, on, their favorite heroes?
I don't think that's the case because they're still getting the results of actually playing these heroes, right? And it's
But
still...
is it that little 1% difference?
It's the little 1% difference. I don't think it's from being out of practice.
It's a literal
on those-
1% difference
Yeah,
if that's
yeah.
what they missed out on.
Exactly right. But I mean, it's also, remember first point, Hanamura, Blank were in overtime when they capped that, and it was a stretch to finally get there. They almost lost that first point. So Hanamura, at the second point, yeah, it looked like a 1% difference, but let's not forget how much they worked to get first point.
Something I want to clear up also is I've mentioned, like, when Blank played against Fireball and dropped a single team fight that they shouldn't have, I said there was a Blank moment. There have been no Blank moments today. AHQ have been legitimately winning. Not because Blank are having weird moments where they're like, let's randomly not win. Blank are trying to win. They're really trying to win. I think AHQ, again, that 1% difference is what AHQ have to edge them out currently. I think Blank, they are really firing up. I think right at the end of Hanamura, you saw it come out of them. They finally dropped the Tracer onto Eat Up. Not that I think that's been a problem, but I mean, they've been only running that, and for them to say this isn't working anymore is for Blank to say we're losing.
Well, AHQ have now picked themselves Dorado, and they've got themselves on the defense here, so Blank are going to need to come up with something big here. Down a game in the series, back against the wall right now. This is do or die for Blank. Obviously, AHQ, if they get this, they're going to be sitting equal on wins there with Blank after this one.
Are they?
Yeah.
Oh,
They're
yeah.
8-2.
Okay.
8-2. So it'll be
You're
nice.
probably right on that one. So far, good cart push coming up from Blank, and this is going to be the full commit. Good Discord orb as well. Cowman will be the first target. As Blank looking for more, and they get more.
They have ignited the flame right now, just charging into this one. This is extremely different from the Dorado we saw in our previous matchup. Cart is capped instantly onto the first checkpoint after the first fight there. And I mean, Blank looking a little bit different here. We see Atar
Yeah, this is Blank
back on the
This
Genji.
is Blank wasting no time, showing no mercy, literally. And really, really got the game in their hands so far. It's not a write-off yet because you need to see what Blank can do with the momentum here.
Oh, and that's exactly what AHQ
That's a
were
momentum
looking
killer,
for, though.
that is.
Helix rocket straight into the face of ATAR. Now AHQ can take the fight straight into the heart of Blank right now. Blank going to be forced to fall back here. Oh, nice. It's going to be Kiki getting himself control of that high ground here.
This is really important from AHQ because they stop the cart movement.
Oh,
Now
no pulse
they're going to take the fight back to the cart. Getting the fight on the side is like okay, but preventing the cart movement is integral to the defense for
great.
AHQ.
Did you see those knockups there? That's going to be huge as they push Eric in out of position now. Transcendence coming through from the side of Blank, trying to keep these players alive through this one. They're managing to get a lot of staggered kills on the side of AHQ, so this is perfect for Blank now. It's going to take a long while for AHQ to sort of reposition and get themselves back in a stable defense.
I don't think they can reposition, not the way they want to anyway, because Blank are all over the exact positions where AHQ would like to be. And you already see AHQ have to try and go for this right side from the attacker's perspective. Realistically, you want to be on the left. You want to control the bridge. They can't even get that.
Down barrier coming through. Now it's going to be the Dragon Blade as well, looking to take out Kalman early into this one. It doesn't find anything.
ATAR takes that one straight to the back.
Yeah, well, good Transcendence there coming through. But will it be enough now? AHQ answering back here. Graviton Surge in hand as well. Shouldn't even need to use it in this one. AHQ do manage to stabilize most likely off this piece of defense here. And I mean, that all comes down to, I feel, Crappy on the Zenyatta there, managing to catch out ATAR as he was trying to get sneaky over in the corner.
The adaptation from AHQ is really like, hey, we can't get the defense positioning we want. So let's just play the cart because we know they're pushing the cart. They played the cart, they got the kills, and it didn't even matter. Now they do have positioning. Dizzy on the high ground, he's on the left side still from the defenders. I still feel like you want to play on the right because you want to be able to maintain the bridge. But actually playing on the left here means you get to directly confront Blank, who are also pushing the same direction as you.
Well, Kalman going to have to hit a big
grab.
Graviton Surge in this. Can he get eaten though? It doesn't matter though there. ATAR taking Kalman down early before the grab even goes off. Self-destruct here, shouldn't be finding anything with that one, but does manage to buy a little bit of time. Dizzy answered back there, but Blank with a quick couple of kills. Now Eat Up in the back lines does have Kiki with him as well. They're going to be punishing Karez over there as well. They should be able to push this one over point number 2. There's not much Dizzy can do to hold that one down. And now on to the final checkpoint and the final push. It's going to be Blank coming into this one hot.
I don't know if Blank just leveled up or if AHQ just devolved a little bit. I think AHQ are really still pulling one out, but Blank have full knowledge of what AHQ is trying to do here. You see the way Troll pressured out Kalman. You see the way even Eat Up was there to pressure out Kalman. They knew their grab was coming. They knew if they just kept on Kalman, the grab was going to be gone. And you know what a good way to deal with grab is? Just kill the guy before he uses it. Now the grab comes in finally, but they already lose a member. They're not getting kills.
Yeah, the self-destruct
That was a
as well.
waste of grab.
And now ATAR answered right there. Let's look at this Transcendence as well, allowing Blank to get right up in the faces here of AHQ. And they are falling now like dominoes, it seems. The rest of these players going down here, but Carrier's managing to find one with a Vital Grenade. Now Dizzy is answering back here. Good sound barrier to keep them alive through it, but it won't be enough.
This is no kills. Sound barrier completely protected the other team. Blank still just pulling him, maybe? I don't know.
We'll see though. AHQ looking like they're coming up with enough, but Eat Up is eating the team here of AHQ, finding definitely enough there to keep that fight going. But look at this, they are going to be falling back out of this one.
Even Lazy Titan going over Hog, you know something's changed about the team. This is the moment when Eat Up and ATAR decided to go, let's play Soldier and Genji. This is the moment that Lazy Titan says, I can't play Diva anymore because it's not working. Something is not happening for AHQ, and they're trying to figure it out. But they don't really have a lot of time to figure this one out. Kalman now under the Tracer as well. Killing Eat Up would be pretty big here. Kalman's already done that once tonight in a very convincing fashion that won them a game. They're going to need a lot more of that if they want to secure Dorado.
Oh, Eric comes in with a big Earth Shatter there, and that's going to be what AHQ need. Quick triple for them. Player advantage. What a hook as well. And this is going to be all she wrote for Blank's fight here. Surely after that Earth Shatter from Eric in, that's going to be all they needed to stabilize their defense now. And I mean, these change-ups definitely working for them.
And let's talk about stabilization for a bit because Cap 3 is where you're always, as a defensive team, that's where you should be able to stabilize. You can get snowballed Cap 1, you can get snowballed Cap 2, but when you get to Cap 3, if you don't have ultimates and you don't have something to play with by then, something's gone wrong. Not only that, but you've got the spawn advantage. Everything should be going in your favor defensively on Cap 3. If it's not, you'll literally just have losses. You really need to look at what happened because I don't know. Gumbo going down early as well. Maybe lazy tidy on the hog so far has been working out, but fight ain't over.
Kill advantage in the way of Blank though right now, but ultimates have already been committed. Charge doesn't find its mark just yet. He is going to be able to swing down AVRL. AVRL trying to keep him away, but he cannot. And now AHQ going to be able to answer back into this fight. Kiki putting pressure. Karez, awesome sleep dart coming through there. Eat up though with that double kill. But do Blank have enough gas left in the tank? It looks like a no, as AHQ finally just finish off the last few of these kills as well. And with a minute 25, Blank need to come up with something
quickly. With a minute 25, Blank have no time to take the card into a pit stop. It's going to be all or nothing here, straight to the finish line. Is the only way Blank can secure this one, and what was an incredibly quick cap 1 and 2. I mean, there might have been an accident on the road for cap 3 because this is full standstill.
Oh, that pulse bomb almost stopping Blank in their tracks there in the up the stairwell there. But Lazy Titan is going to find that kill onto Eat Up, and Blank need to fall back, and indeed they do.
Yeah.
Finally making a good decision here.
This reminds me of AHQ on Hanamura, where you walk in, you lose one member, and that's your push. That's your entire push. It's just denied by losing one member, and Blank have to reassess now. But they don't have time because we said like a minute 30. What is it now? 40 seconds.
Oh,
they get the good pickup, so this is something that Blank got to use.
But Eric's got that Earth Shatter. He hit one before. Can he do it again? He goes again in the same spot as well. And now he's just going to clean up these few players in here. There is a few DPS players left here, but Eric in the front lines.
Oh boy.
Oh my goodness. Eric in putting the hopes of AHQ on his shoulders there. Kalman just finishing up a last couple there. 20 seconds left, and Blank are looking dire straits right now.
3 members and 3 members. Blank get the respawn, and just like on Hanamura, it is now desperation mode. Transcendence will come out, Sound Barrier will come out, make sure everything Blank has, they will use. Pulse Bomb's going to be important. If Pulse Bomb can kill Dizzy, if they can get past Attack Visor, I think Blank can push it out. If Dizzy gets a lot of kills, it's done. AHQ win.
Oh my goodness, AVRL not hitting anything right now with the blade. Only 2 swings find their mark there, and that's going to be disastrous for him, but Eat Up there to be cleaning up the last couple ones here. Now Kalman though, up in the back line, should easily be able to take down the Zenyatta as well. Oh, not at all. Gumba balls in Kalman's face right there, but Karez finding that trade over to himself there. Now Blank making movement on the cart. What can AHQ do? This is getting disastrously close. The boot to try and keep this one alive. AVRL finding that kill onto Karez up in the back line.
No, he died.
What is going on? The Blank in the last few seconds. They are picking these players up. There is still contest now coming from AHQ. What can they find? The respawns are coming in now. No contest on Dizzy. Does he have the damage to find these kills? AVRL getting low. Oh my goodness, and that's going to be Blank 3 capping it out.
Dizzy needed to contest, but
too busy fragging.
Even if he did, he would have died. To be honest, I think he would have died either way, but wow. Heartbreaking moment for HQ, but definitely threw Blank a bit of a life there, a life.
Threw him a bone, a massive bone, as you mentioned earlier.
It's like Blank in deep waters, and you throw them the biggest. That doesn't even make sense. You don't say.
Yeah, you throw them a life ring.
Yeah, you throw them a life ring, pull them back in. Wow, Eric nearly clutched that so hard.
I can't believe his Earth Shatter. The same, like the first one, fair enough. You know, hits 3 targets around that corner there. But then Blank, like, you know what? We'll go to the same spot.
Well, you know what? The only thing that could have saved them was Kiki's shield. Kiki's playing Winston, so there was never a situation where Eric should have gotten a bad hammer. Like, Eric, at that point, is predisposed to getting good hammers. Like, if he's not getting good hammers and he's going up against a Winston, you pick the wrong Reinhardt for your team. He
becomes the Eric Smasher of good ults, right? He just is always going to get good hits. I mean, like you said,
that was almost an Eye of the Kaiser moment. It was so good. It was so good. It wasn't game winning, but I feel like it should have been. It was unfortunate that for AHQ they, like I said at the end there, Dizzy's Tag Visor really needed to be quite effective. Like Earthshot is great, but the damage comes from Tag Visor. That's where you're going to secure the kills. And for Dizzy, I don't know what happened there for him, but he didn't really pop up on the kill feed. It didn't happen. It was like for every missed shot of Tag Visor, that was literally AHQ's chances of winning the game, losing, like just flying away.
Well, I mean, let's see if AHQ can come out of the gates like a bat out of hell in this one. They're going to need to after Blank putting on a very impressive point 1 and point number 2 offense there. Finally managing to get it over on the point 3 cap there as well. So going to have their work cut out for them on this offense.
This is going to be an opening little little cute play that he's going to jump off immediately.
See if he can give out any love taps there. Doesn't manage to find its mark. But they are making a fair bit of haste out here. Not much contest coming up from the side of Blank, but let's see. This should be where the fight is about to kick off. Trill getting himself in position there. Trill actually up on the Genji this time. AVRL on that Soldier. Going to be eat up on his world famous Tracer, it seems.
It's going to be the fight started pretty early as well. Good picks on both sides.
Oh, but Blank coming out on top of this one here. And this should be all they wrote for AHQ's first attack here. Blank definitely coming out on top of this one. Trill's Genji putting in work this time. Look at all the kills he's managed to pick up there. He should be extremely close to his Dragon Blade. Indeed, he is 90% there. Nano boost as well. Look at the ultimates Blank has.
Every team needs to take note. That's how you play counter dive. They got the engage that they wanted to, got the damage down. Yeah, they lost the pick to Cowman, but they punished Cowman straight away. And it's going to be now AHQ making the full wraparound. Problem with this pushes, cards not being pushed.
And missed hook there from Kalman as well, so not starting things off too hot just yet. And now Blank definitely have got a read on the route that AHQ have decided to take here. And they do just back off ever so slightly, so now's the time that
Blank
AHQ
are giving
can
too
get
much room. Blank are giving way too much room. If Blank want to play counter dive, they have initiative, they have ultimates. There's no way you give up this much card push.
Yeah, now they've given Dizzy attack visor, but it doesn't matter when he's dead right there. Trill just going in right now, triple right there. Can he find any more? He's got the team to have his back right there. Trill just being an absolute monster right now on this Genji.
Really effective as well. They won a team fight on defense, only 2 ultimates used. Still got 4 in rotation. Still got attack visor, which is huge. And the Transcendence means they realistically shouldn't even lose a team fight. Dizzy can't even get enough damage here, so AHQ need to spend at least 1 more fight, bait ultimates out of Blank before they can even commit themselves. They're not in a good spot.
Not at all, and now they're stuck in this choke
Blank
point.
are already on the 2nd checkpoint by now. AHQ are so far behind.
They're stuck in this choke point as well, and indeed Blank take the fight straight to them through this one. Going to be Kiki hitting the Primal Rage through this one, but gets taken down. Eat Up doesn't find anything either, and now AHQ, this is going to be their moment to take the fight back to Blank. They push their way through this one, and now Blank looking on the defense, having to force back. And this is very good. Into a Transcendence, though. So Blank going to be able to hold off onto this one. What is going? He goes into contest right there, so he does lose a few of his teammates. I don't think that was the right decision at all. Obviously, you do need to contest the cart, but losing all your teammates there, nothing you can do. Now AHQ cap out.
I mean, you got a Transcendence, contest together, use the Transcendence and do it as a team. As soon as Gumba left his teammate there, it was like, hello, please help me.
And now AHQ getting control of this high ground already. Very good forward positioning coming out from these players. Look at Dizzy now doing such a good amount of chip damage. And Eric, his best friend in the whole world, is there to have his back.
I think Lazy Titan's his best friend, but Eric might be a close second.
This is going to be quite hard now for Blank to get themselves back up on the high ground here. They need to do it fast, though, because Dizzy is going to have free time up here.
Look at this positioning from AHU. They got to the high ground before Blank even did. A-Type goes. So that's actually Troll. I forget who plays Genji on Blank, because they keep switching up. Either way, the fact that AHQ have control of this entire bridge area, technically they've taken ground better than Blank did on the 2nd checkpoint. The only thing they're missing is they lack time. They lack the time, but they have the positioning.
Oh, and look at that sleep dart actually up there in the back lines on Eat Up as well.
They didn't secure the kill, and that's bad.
That is bad, but that could have been disastrous there for Blank if they did pick that kill up onto Eat Up. And now Blank having a hard time stabilizing this defense. It's going to be ATAR up in the front. He does fall there. AHQ coming out on top right now, leading with a player advantage here. Lazy Titan managing to keep himself alive. Kiki trying to keep some pressure there onto Kalman, but RQT dropping as well. Where is Blank? They're all going down right now, and this is going to be where AHQ are going to be able to make this push happen.
I would have hoped HQ saved the Nano there. It's good that they had to, let's be honest, they had to use everything to get the cap, which is good because they got the cap, but now this is the same problem AHQ have that Blank had. We're on the 3rd cap. AHQ have no snowball, they have no momentum. Blank got ults, they got the respawns, they're set up to get the full hold here.
But I mean, look at
this positioning. And on top
positioning.
of that, AHQ got worse time than Blank. So currently Blank are ahead, AHQ are behind. They gotta change that.
Well, Kalman just finds the kill there. Doesn't even need a hook at all. But, I mean, 2 players down there for the side of AHQ. This is Crappy going to be trying to get up in the grill of the Blank players, but it matters not as the rest of his teammates are just dropping down as well. And so Blank should be able to stabilize off the back of this one. And Blank really took the fight very aggressively to AHQ there.
Yeah, that's correct though. That's correct because they knew AHQ burned all their ultimates. You're going up against AHQ with empty pockets. You're Blank, you just charged up. You got the good respawns. Time to block the cart. Time to prevent the cart from getting any movement. Now you're in a great spot because you're still ahead on ults. And AHQ just like, they got nothing out of that push. They got no objective. For AHQ, their goal would have just been to get maximum cart distance. And if you look at where the cart's sitting, that's not maximum cart distance. That's minimum.
They did get a decent amount of charge coming off the back of this one. Eat up though with another pulse bomb in hand. Still have that Transcendence on Gunba. He does hit the Transcendence now. So this is going to be where Blank take the fight straight to the faces of AHQ. Sound barrier though coming out there. Helman's down. And oh, this has got to be Blank coming up there. Eat Up and Atar just opening it up. The combo right there, just doing all they need. Looking to get a bit of a staggered kill now onto Lazy Titan as well. This should be coming up.
It is still more ultimates that Blank are bleeding out and less ultimates that AHQ committing. The sound barrier there was a bit of a tester. You dip your toes in the water. You see what Blank are going to give you. You throw the hook out. You drop the sinker. What are you going to get out of Blank? Well, here's a nanovisor. Cool. We'll take that. Now let's come back with our own nanovisor. Oh yeah, and 3 more ults. Time to get a push going. AHQ though, 1 nanovisor to win the fight. Save the other ults so they can get the win.
Oh, there comes the sound barrier, and the water's feeling warm right now for AHQ as Dizzy opens it up onto Gumba, and there comes that self-destruct. Doesn't find anything with that one just yet. Crappy going to be able to take Kiki down off the high ground.
Still got 2 ults. This is so good for AHQ.
They have done a great job at cycling through these ultimates here, and they are making fast work of this point 3 now. Dizzy going to be able to get control of that high ground. So now pay attention to him.
We're going to get another beautiful Earth Shatter. Question mark.
Blank going to be sweating now. Let's hope they've got their sweat towels out. They've been forced all the way back now. They need to take this fight to the face of AHQ, and they charge in indeed.
Save the Earth Shatter. You got a better moment than this. Pick your moment very carefully. Yeah, well, maybe. I'm not too sure about that one.
Well, it does manage to pick them up the first couple of kills in this engagement. No trades coming out now for the side of Blank. What do they have to work with here? Nobody at all.
Atar, take visor, nearly, 96%, 97.
But no one to contest the cart, and oh my goodness, are they doing it? There comes a Transcendence just in the nick of time. It's going to be Gumba keeping Blank's hope alive right now.
Oh boy.
But AHQ so close right now. It's going to be Eat Up managing to open that one up on a Crappy, but Dizzy takes him down instantly here, and look at what's going on. This is so very close right now.
The last fight.
Can Lazy Titan throw out
17 seconds.
The big self-destruct? Oh my god, he's ran away. Why has he run away?
Oh, they regroup. They got to regroup. They have a couple of ultimates come back in. 10 seconds left to go. They have to touch the cart. This is so dangerous. He has to throw the self-destruct over the wall, fly onto the cart himself. This is exactly what's happening. Here comes the self-destruct.
There it is.
They have to connect. They have to connect.
Nice barrier there.
Okay.
That's going to be stopping that one in its tracks there. Now Lazy Titan getting thwarted by that.
Yes.
Sound barrier coming through. There's that nano boost. Now Dizzy, everything is on him. Oh my goodness, he takes Eat Up down into this one. So where is the pressure coming now onto Dizzy? He's got that tech visor.
Hello?
Here we go. Can Atar manage to pressure him?
No.
It is going to be Atar finding him there as well. It will be Gumba to find the kill now. This whole hog is coming through. Blank are coming out with this one, and they will hold.
That is a crazy series. I don't even care who wins anymore. This is just insane. You got give the man a second sweat towel. Look,
that's rampant
like
right now.
If I'm burning through sweat and I'm not even playing the game, give the man a second sweat towel. Give me one while you're at it.
Whew. That's all I can say after that there. It honestly looked like everything was gone for Blank.
Like that could have gone either way, but I'm still not happy about the Earth Shatter. Like, yeah, I killed Trill, but here's the problem. The actual Earth Shatter killed Trill. You saw it on the kill feed, not damage, not anyone else's damage, just the Earth Shatter. What does that tell you? He was so low, I think that him dying was just a given. Like, that was just always going to happen. So realistically, in my eyes, I see that as just a failed hammer. And that needed to be a big hammer because this is AHQ's path to victory here. Nanovisor in, secure the first win, get the cart push going. They did that. They secured the push. They got the kills. They got everything going for them. They saved 2 ults. I don't know. Lazy Titan might have self-destructed in there. He could have saved it. Couldn't have saved it. Questions for later. Other 2 ults. What do they have? Whole Hog and I believe it was Earth Shatter. Cool. Whole Hog got used into the second push. after the nanovisor. So you get the card around the second corner to the final corner, I should say. Get it up the hill. Whole hog was kind of here or there. I don't feel like it was super effective. Kind of wasted, but also kind of gave them a bit of room to work with as well. The only thing they had left and the game-winning ultimate needed to be the Earth Shatter to finally secure that uphill struggle in a literal sense, pushing in the cart.
He could have got a bit of angle there as well.
I don't know. He needed to angle it so that the cart already pushed around the corner. He's looking uphill. He's physically looking uphill, and then he just slams it down between the cart or somewhere, and just gets. You gotta get like 2 members, 3 members even. I'd be happy with 3. Like 2, I'll take it. But really, if I'm really negotiating here, I'm gonna try and get 3 out of you. You know.
The important thing is the guys you hit have to be guys that aren't going to die anyway.
Yeah, that's a big point.
Right?
Yeah, he used the Earth Shatter to just finish them off.
You Earth Shatter a
That's right.
Genji, and it's like,
Right.
cool, style kill.
Earth Shatter
But like,
kill.
hey, he's gonna die anyway. This is something you could have been using on 2, 3, maybe, hey, 4 members. And when you're at the
Now you're
situation,
asking for too much.
like, 4
3,
members.
I'll sell you one at 3, but 4, I'm sorry.
You're
You're haggling too hard here.
But also remember, right? We're talking about the team composition that they're going up against. Winston's shield is all you have to worry about. Normally, when you're in a Reinhardt battle, you're thinking, oh man, I wish this guy would just drop his shield so I can just Earth Shatter already. Winston, like, I was
like
actually
peering into the future a little bit.
I was watching the barrier and waiting for the greatest moment for an Earth Shatter. Barrier was on cooldown for a very long time, and he had a perfect moment to go in. He could have waited probably a good 5, 6 seconds, and like you said, the payload would have been around the corner. He could have aimed up the ramp and would have got such a great ult. He had time.
It just would have been better. It just wouldn't have been on a Genji that was going to die anyway. It would have been on a couple of other members that wouldn't have just died, that they would have then killed. And can I say what turned it around for Blank? Gumba's Transcendence. We were like, what are they going to do?
Yeah.
Gumba's Transcendence out. Hey presto, he's invulnerable. I got my own quips about that. I'm not too happy about the rules regarding invulnerability. And personally, I don't think invulnerability should contest objectives because there's no counterplay, and it's literally too good, and it stalls out the game in a way that the other team can't actually play around.
But then I'll say give Zenyatta his line of sight.
Yeah,
buff
cool.
back.
But that aside, that was the play that secured it for Blank. That play, he's invincible on the cart, and B, everyone else is effectively invincible on the cart because the healing is so good. So that was it for AHQ. They were so deep into the fight at that moment. That was the final moment. I mean, after that, I think the game was over.
Well, because they pulled out as well, right? They
But
fell
they had
back.
to.
Yeah, because
they
they
didn't
had
have to. Their respawns would have been so crazy that they would have had to re-enter the fight with 4 members and not 6, which they did. But because they had no ultimates to play with and the self-destruct on nothing, not that as much as we say, oh, Lazy Titan, great diva player, but self-destruct is still self-destruct and still gets blocked out when it gets blocked out, which is what happened.
Yeah, it was easy.
He still
easy
played
shot.
it correctly. I said, look, the guy needs to fly over, self-destruct on point, and then immediately contest with his own body. He did that. Fantastic. Even got back in his own mech. I would have written him off. I would have said, he's just going to die without getting back in his mech. He got back in his mech. That's already better than expected. That's a good result. The rest of AHQ couldn't clean up the kills. I don't really blame them because they're in a sort of position where they couldn't.
It was
they
an
had
impossible
nothing left
task.
to use.
Just too hard, right? Like you're literally sprinting back from spawn, and there's 10 seconds to go. You're never going to make that unless you're, I don't know, Lucio skateboarding all across the ground. I mean, have you seen some of the speed runs that
Oh,
people
yeah,
are doing
yeah,
something
yeah.
else? They're really good. But in any case, right? They just didn't have time to get there. Now, that's third phase, right? We're going to talk about how AHQ actually got there, though, because the first checkpoint looked like a bit of a stretch, but I think they nailed Streets phase, right? Like the
they're
second
high
They
ground
nailed
control.
Streets phase harder than Blank nailed Streets phase, and Blank absolutely nailed first cap a lot harder than AHQ nailed first cap. I think the
boys.
biggest letdown, AHQ on the first cap was the biggest letdown, but I would like to think that also, even if AHQ had the time from the first cap, which realistically would have been, what, 1 minute, maybe a minute and a half, let's be generous, a minute and a half, if AHQ, after committing that huge fight, losing it to 1 Transcendence, and then resetting, I don't believe they would have come back in 1.5 because it's about timing on specific fights. If your timing of the fight is at the 2-minute mark, this is where we're going to throw everything. We're going to throw everything at the 2-minute mark. You have to win because if you don't get back in shape in 2 minutes. If the rest of the remaining 2 minutes left, doesn't matter, you have the 2 minutes, you need to build ults again, you need to reset up your plays, you need to reset up attacking positions. You don't have time to do that. You don't have time to do that against a defensive team that just won the defense, that are now charged with ults, that already have the positioning. You need a lot more time to get that kind of setup to actually work, unless you're actually setting up for a 1 minute play, in which case you're still playing an even game with the defenders anyway, but you haven't completely emptied out your pockets to all in on one push at a specific time.
Well,
so I'm not convinced at the time they would have gotten would have worked anyway.
I mean, the whole thing really was just, I think, just superb Overwatch in a whole in itself, really. But if you're just joining us, it's Blank Esports taking on AHQ Esports Club. It's currently 2-2, and you know what that means? We're going to map number 5. Blank have just picked Numbani, and obviously shown us that that is definitely one of their stronger maps here, but AHQ themselves have had definitely some strong results on that.
I mean, we talk about how Blank got first held on King's Row. If there's ever a map that Blank can first hold a team on, we're on Numbani.
Okay.
Just as a map, right, it's a long, long respawn for the attackers.
Both teams have the real possibility of full holding first here, and we've already seen Blank really, really shut down teams on first cap.
Oh, definitely.
Flash Walls being one of them. Who else? Just everyone. Hong Kong Attitude most recently as well. Hong Kong Attitude got so shut out that it's like they stayed and spawned the whole game. And Hong Kong Attitude, what they did was they tried the Bastion strat. It got seen. They literally wasted 2 minutes
just
on a single Bastion strat that they never set up anyway. So for AHQ, on attack, just play a standard attack. Don't give me a Bastion. Don't give me an Orisa. Give me something standard. Show me something a little bit safer. I expect ATAR to play Pharaoh on defense as well. So put Dizzy back on the Soldier. That's a safe pick. You know it's going to work. It's reliable. He's a good player. You can't go wrong there.
So for AHQ, I expect them to go one of two ways, right? You're going to go standard, where you go up onto the balcony through the little corridor and just entrench Dizzy up there. Make him impossible to take down, you know. Leave Lazy Titan up there with the Diva to bodyguard him. Do whatever you need to. Or the other option is they run underground and go all the way up to take the far balcony where the defenders usually
That's a lot riskier.
It's risky, but if they can pull it off, Dizzy's going to be unstoppable.
Yeah, I don't think Blank are the kind of team that lets you pull that off. Is the unfortunate thing.
Happened on Hanamura.
Look, if Blank let you, that's different because Hanamura you can literally bypass everything. If no one's sitting at the front door, you just run past. On Numbani, it's a lot easier to telegraph that kind of play, and it will be AHQ on attack first. So we are going to see exactly what they were going to play, and I got concerned for a brief moment because I saw a Sombra, and I'm like, well, you just lost the game, but nope, it's going to be Lazy Titan back on the Diva, so congratulations, you might still win the game.
Well, Trill, though, going to be the Pharaoh this one.
But it's been spotted out.
Oh, okay, they're going to be actually running the full pharmacy here. They actually get quite good position now up in the back room.
Okay, this is good.
So are we feeling good about this one? I feel like we are now.
Not yet, because Blank can still counterplay this. Blank can still decide to pincer this if they want to. Well, and for AHQ, they've actually not decided to commit on the top side. They're going to commit down the bottom.
Still not giving up any cap time just yet. Oh, and as I say that, they are starting to make some ground on the cap here. They're going to need to start getting things frisky in the biscuit as Trill starts landing some rockets. Goes for a concuss. Very close there. The hook not going to connect with anything at all here. And AHQ's being very patient here. Same thing for Blank, though. Not really overcommitting anything down onto the point just yet.
I feel like, oh wow, so many members almost dying there. The healing just keeping everyone into play. Big problem though, ATAR on this high ground. I'm not seeing an answer from AHQ, and unless AHQ can do something about both ATAR and Trill, I don't see them actually getting onto the cap and pressuring it in the way that they want to. Especially Cowman is so out of position here. Cowman can actually just die, immediately forcing a 5v6. Blank can then turn on the...
Oh, you've thrown the question, and here's the answer right now, and it's going to be Dizzy with a tech visor, and it's the boost as well, and Dizzy is just opening up this point right now. Great resurrection, though, coming in to keep these Blank members alive, but with Kiki dropping here as well. Now RQT to follow. AHQ have definitely found the answer. Trill taken down as well, and Dizzy has just been the hugest soldier right now, has definitely opened this one up, but ATAR finding a couple of kills of his own, but it will not be enough. Without the rest of his team here, there's nothing he can do to contest it. See ya, mate! And wow, AHQ, very methodical play there.
Quote easy, quote, hugest soldier, 2017.
He was the hugest soldier. He has been bulking up, bulking up, bulking up.
He's been to the gym once or twice.
Look at him now. He's bulking up now down the streets, mate.
He's flexing on Trill pretty hard.
Oh my goodness.
How do you bulk down the street? What goes into that?
Oh mate, you know, like look at his quads, bro. Just charging up down the street, you know.
All right. I'll give that a go one day. I'll try it out.
Oh my goodness, Trill though with the barrage doesn't find anything with that. Had the boost as well. I mean, if they can manage to pick up Kalman down in the back lines there, sleep. But Lazy Titan coming through, triple kill there, taking out the mech from Kiki as well, and AHQ showing Numbani how it's played.
Lazy Titan, hugest diva 2017. Hugest. As the descriptive term for what we just saw.
That was absolutely huge, and Blank just scratching their heads a little bit as they respawn back here thinking, what just happened? Well, they know what happened.
At this point, this should still be a contest from Blank. I don't see Blank giving this up without a contest, but here we go. Pulse bomb to come out as well. Looks like a miss. It is indeed a miss.
And that sound barrier, though, for the side of AHQ, going to be pushing back forwards. Oh my goodness, this defense is made of absolutely nothing right now. Dizzy, hugest soldier.
So as cool as that was, Dizzy should have saved tag buzz. He shouldn't have used it there. They already got the initial pickouts. I truly believe they would have got the pickouts anyway. The problem with getting an ult force there is for Blank, it doesn't even matter they lost because they got an ultimate out. Even getting a second ultimate out would have been even better. When you attack the third checkpoint, when you attack cap number 3, you need some level of momentum actually going to this. Using an ult right at the end there, getting it baited in a situation you would have won anyway, now prevents you from getting a snowball push on the third checkpoint. You can already see that
Kalman.
Blank are getting aggressive.
And Kalman drops down there as well. Eric does have that Earth Shatter to work with, so again, nothing on the side of Blank to really stop that coming through. So do pay attention to see if he manages to land one of these big hammers, and indeed he is looking to find one. There it is, but it's only going to find one person at all. It's definitely not the biggest.
You just Reinhardt 2017.
Not at all. And now Blank should be able to pounce on this one. Pulse Bomb going to be opening it up onto Crappy. Atar with attack visor now coming in as well. Very much uncontested up in the back lines here. And now Blank finally managing to stabilize that defense.
Yeah, and there's still a couple of ults back in the pocket as well. AHQ got to use a bit of time to charge this one. Charge the next fight up. This is kind of what I'm talking about. So AHQ were put in a position where they ended up being really far behind going to the third checkpoint, and Blank knew exactly where to take the fight. And they initiated, they chose the fight. They chose it on their own terms. AHQ just had to sort of sit there and take it. And I don't bar like another crazy self-destruct from Lazy Titan. I think ASU have to drop another fight just to charge ultimate.
Oh, Kalman switching over to the Zarya, but this fight isn't long for this world as Crappy gets taken down instantly. Going to be a retreat now coming up from
Good
AHQ.
retreat.
Very smart indeed coming up from AHQ as they waste no time falling back here. Blank chasing down the last couple of members, charging up a little bit more of these ultimates here. And now Blank looking in a good spot right now. But AHQ, when they get that Graviton up, and as I say, that Kalman switches back over to the Hog, so looking for that pick base.
Yeah, HQ unfortunately didn't charge as much as they would have liked to there. They had to back up so quickly. Good news is they baited out ults from Blank anyway, so they're slowly getting ahead. They're slowly putting themselves in a place where they're actually favored to win a fight. Now I believe they are. I now believe this could be the push where if AHQ decided to commit, they would get pretty good results.
And you got to watch out for Lazy Titan with that self-destruct. There's going to be that sound barrier. Here it comes. What can he find with this one? Not a big triple kill like the last one, but now position now falling in the way for AHQ, and it's going to be right around the back line. Good block out here coming in from Trill. He's all over that one. Sound barrier now as well for the side of AHQ. Blank, though, do answer back after that overcommitment coming in from AHQ. So nice self-destruct there from Trill, just picking up another kill as well. And Blank now stabilizing off the back of that. AHQ using way too much.
There's actually an overcommitment from Blank because they Matrix and Transcendence for one nanovisor. Now, one of those two would have done the job, so you don't need to use both. Blank won anyway, but it's a case of like, how could you have been a bit more efficient? How do you win harder than you actually won? And for Blank, showing that kind of weakness, like as small as that was, kind of just says they're either intimidated or they're starting to show signs of a few weaknesses, like making plays that are not super clean like that. And even Dizzy now changing onto the McCree. This is a big trainer because if Dizzy was comfortable, he'd still be on Soldier. So I think both teams are really feeling the pressure here, making change-ups.
Well, Kiki's just dropped the barrier now, so Eric knows he's open to drop the hammer, but look at this positioning coming out from
barrier,
Blank.
I dropped the hammer.
Kiki falls down as well, so now Eric looking to set up a big Earth Shatter.
Looking for Atar.
Oh, this is
Finds
big
Atar.
right now. He's got Atar, comes through with the charge. The nice sound barrier though, trying to keep him through this one. Will he manage to get out with his life? Indeed he does, and now Blank should be able to open back into this fight. There is a Transcendence on Gumber as well, so keep your eyes open for that. Blank just pushing out these last few members of AHQ. AHQ. What a piece of offense coming through from AHQ.
So he lands a hammer. Where's the follow? I didn't see the team. So what the problem was is good sound barrier, perfect sound barrier, I would even say. Completely kept ATAR alive. Now, I don't know, the rest of AHQ kind of just let that one go, but I haven't seen, Dizzy's a good McCree, but I don't see him pulling one out of the bag. Deadeye is just not going to be super effective. It's going to be okay, but I expect it to still just be somewhat subpar. Now, we're in the same position before where unless Lazy Carter gets the best self-destruct of his life, I think AHQ is stuck.
Yeah, 70% here on the Deadeye, make that 76. If he can manage to get this up and they can get it around the barrier, this might be absolutely huge here. Ultimate's up in the way of AHQ as well, though. There is a bit of a commitment now coming in from the side of Blank.
Wait for the whole hog, wait for the whole hog.
Oh, finds nothing there. Up in
There's
the
the
back
whole
lines.
hog.
Eat up getting that kill, though. What's that whole hog going to find? Sound barrier now from
Finding
the
the
side of
Matrix.
AHQ. That is good stuff there. Dizzy finds that kill onto Eat Up though, and now that counter self-destruct. That's going to be Trill taking out Crappy. That's going to be very important. Now here comes that Deadeye. This is going to be big. There was still the barrier up though, and that is disastrous for Dizzy right there, as he doesn't find anything with that one. And now Blank managed to find themselves a couple of kills here. Should be able to push off this offense coming out from AHQ and hold this one down, and indeed they do. AHQ though get it 63 meters.
Yeah, not a fan of the McCree swap. Like I said, you know, Deadeye was always going to be really risky to play, and unfortunately for him, straight into a Winston barrier. So you gotta kind of commend Kiki for the timing on that. I think the timing was more so the barrier came down first, as Dizzy decided to use. He used the Deadeye second, but he had committed to. He was like, I'm gonna use the Deadeye here, and he's just like, oh, damn.
Maybe someone will peek out.
I don't know, the last minute changes. Like I'm okay with the Cowman Hog. I think he's had a good run of Hog, but I mean, you asked the question, like, what did the whole Hog do? It went straight into a Matrix. Now here's the difference. This is a very small thing in the game, but you saw right at the end there, from Lazy Titan's perspective, he was trying to focus down, I believe it was Trill on the Diva, got Trill down to something like 50 HP, and Trill got away. Trill healed back, he came out. Now imagine he killed Trill. At least he denied the mech. He got the mech. Trill's just hanging out. Little Diva, no mech. Then Kalman comes out with the whole hog. Suddenly no Matrix. That could have been a game changer. Small things like this really, really turn a game around. And Lazy Titan self-destruct. You know, in these high pressure situations, unreliable. You can't rely on him to pull something crazy out of the bag. Every time, bar when it's been set up, so some of the grab self-destruct combos that this team has pulled off have been great, good setups. Lazy Titan, when he randomly throws, not randomly, but when he throws a self-destruct out there, picks up a couple of kills, it's amazing because you don't expect it, like it shouldn't happen, like why does that happen? And rightfully so, because when it does need to happen, it hasn't been happening for HQ, and in these high pressure situations, HQ have been really, really stuck.
I am unsure about this. I know Crappy's great, Torbjorn, and I sort of go on about it here, but I feel like last time, you know, Blank have come up against the Torbjorn, they've absolutely walked over it.
I don't know about walk over it, but it was just average. It wasn't like great, but it wasn't bad.
Well, we're going to find out here. See if that placement there is going to do its work. Crappy obviously going to set up another one straight after that, but Trill getting taken out of his mech, and his life goes down as well to Crappy. So Torbjorn at least doing a lot of good work to start this one off. RQT dropping low. He does manage to keep himself up here and get himself back into safety. But ATAR now going to be pressured immensely. And indeed, AHQ do find the kills that they were looking for. This should be them stabilizing off this deep end. And now Scrap as well for Crappy to throw out some armor.
I'll tell you what, AHQ, good counter dive composition. You got two shotguns in play, one on your Torb, one on your Hog. You got a turret to sort of chase away the mobile DPSs. You got a hook to take down pretty much anybody. And to top it all off, cherry on the cake, it's going to be Dizzy on the high ground as well. So Blank got a lot to break through here. Really, they got to focus on something. I think focusing on Dizzy should be the right answer.
Oh, Eric almost getting caught out of position there, manages to fall back quite easily, and now Dizzy looking him up in the high ground here. Very much uncontested, has the attack visor Oh, wow, this is going
Tech
to be big
visor
right
good
now.
to go, spray good to go. Check, check.
But if Gumba holds himself in around the corner here, or Barrage coming in from
No,
Atar,
hello.
only finds one right there. Could this be the biggest resurrection? No, see you later, mate! And Dizzy just goes in right now, not even scared of these tanks, tries to push them out of the enclosed room there as well. And now him and Kalman just going to be pushing back these last few Blank members. AHQ looking so strong here on point number 1.
If you ever forget that the Tech visor's in play, you just got reminded. You flew directly into a Tech visor, he immediately deleted you. Could have been clutch, could have been a clutch res, but unfortunately Dizzy, well, unfortunately for Gumba, Dizzy was exactly where he needed to be. And AHQ as a team are exactly where they want to be. 3 ultimates up. Blank is sitting on a res and a sound barrier. That's not going to win you a fight, not outright. Not yet.
Make that a primal rage as well for the contest.
Here's a Molten Core though.
And I mean, this is just crazy right now. AHQ just hitting that Molten Core. The turret just going to town up on that high ground there. Good positioning from Blank to not get absolutely destroyed by the turret. They do manage to take it down.
Riz
The
came out.
resurrection coming through, so they want to keep this fight going. Now ultimate's committed here from Lazy Titan and Kalman as well. Still have that primal rage to work with. And Crappy gets himself up another turret, but he gets taken down by the pulse bomb. So here we go. Eat Up managing to find some openings here.
Oh wow, Eat Up's doing work. He needs to get shut down.
They are just going in. Indeed, the nano boost coming through onto the Winston here. And now Trill getting pressured off a lot. He does have Eat Up to help him. They find
kill.
Dizzy. That's going to be big here for Blank. Because as Eat Up now, he is not going to have much contest on this point here. Trill should be falling down though after this. Indeed he does. But Eat Up is still around. He's still in the picture. And Atar, oh no.
He's falling back. This is going to be stabilization. Stabilization for AHQ means that we're now under 1 minute. We don't have any more ultimates for Blank. You used everything. AHQ got 1 to work with, and Dizzy's about to hit attack visor as well. If AHQ were ever going to get a full hold, it's probably going to be this push in Atar. This is sneaky because he wants to snipe down Dizzy. Atar's going to go for the direct challenge onto Dizzy here from the opposite side of the angle, from the opposite side of the Numbani first checkpoint.
Oh, but that pressure though coming up from Eric. Great play from this man right now. Keeping Atar off this, and what he's
Eric.
finding the kill. Eric going with the primal rage as well. AHQ are finding all the kills. What is happening right
20
now?
seconds.
Blank are losing players left, right, and center. Ultimate's advantage in the way of AHQ as well. There is nothing Blank have to answer this one. With 10 seconds left on the clock, this is panic mode right now.
Okay, 82% Gumba. Almost on a res. This res could be the difference, but if they still got a tech visor to deal with, 2 seconds, Eat Up. Oh, okay.
Oh, gets the stick,
Wow,
gets the
wow,
stick.
wow, one.
That's going to be big, but there
Any more?
comes the nano boost
Wanna
onto the
have
tech
another?
visor as well. But Dizzy finding a pair right there, finds a third as well. And nothing can be done to stop this man right now. Dizzy, the hope, the dream is alive, and AHQ have done it.
AHQ and Crappy with his hands in the air. They have done what no other team have been able to do, and they will finally take down the undefeated Blank Esports, and Crappy could not be happier. And wow, I mean, all celebrations for AHQ right now. What a show, what a display of strength.
Well, it's boogie nights for AHQ, it seems. Oh, Lazy Titan. I mean, definitely, I think deserves not only the player of the match, but maybe the man of the match, it seems.
It's going to be an uncomfortable night of changing your spreadsheet from a 100% win ratio to a 99.9% win ratio. But nonetheless, it has been broken, and AHQ are that team. The combo breaker, I shall call them.
Combo breaker AHQ. I mean, how do you feel if you're Blank now coming off that? I mean, this is your first loss to deal with in
That
a
was
It's
long,
not comfortable. It's
long
not comfortable.
while.
That was Numbani. That was Blank's pick. That's Blank's map. Everyone fears that. And not only did AHQ push
All right, look at this,
almost
look at this.
all the way to the third
This is the
checkpoint.
handshake that every team has wanted ever against Blank. I wish you could see this right now. You get
Well,
the
indeed
end of
you
it.
can.
There you go. You
Indeed
get
you
the
can.
handshake. You get to walk across the stage and shake Blank's hands. You've had enough of them coming over to shake your hands. You want to know what that feels like in AHQ. They get to know.
They've done it.
If you're Flash Wolves right now, you're also crying in the corner. You're probably crying harder than Blank are because AHQ are now so far ahead of the rest of the competition. I'm not writing out Blank at all because Blank is still insanely ahead of pretty much every team. But when we looked at the standings earlier and we said, look, well, mainly I said, it was like, hey, Blank are in a tier of their own. Welcome to the club, AHQ. You now just joined that top tier club. You now just joined the top tier. What went from a 1-member club is now a 2-member club. And Flash Wolves, oh, the bounce is still at the door. You're not in yet.
They've sort of poked the Angry Ogre on week number 1. You know, AHQ dropping that game to them, and they were like, "What? No. We've got to get better, way better, obviously." And you can see from week number 1. I mean, AHQ have sort of made the most immense sort of leaps and bounds in regards to how much they've gotten better.
Round two,
I think-
just a round of upsets, right? You've got Marchi Esports coming in and taking down
Is this an
Flashwolves.
upset though? Because realistically, AHQ were the only other team, just purely on standings, already team number 2, right? An upset would have been like if anyone below AHQ beat blank. If the number 2 team beats the number 1 team, you almost can't even say that's an upset anymore. That's just like, well, if any team's gonna do it, it should be this team.
But, I mean, you've got to look at it as well, right? I mean, yes, if anyone's going to do it, AHQ, sure, but Blank were undefeated. Blank had not lost a single match yet, and so I've got to say, anyone going up against them, taking out a victory, it feels like an upset, right? I mean, we're all sitting here on the edge of our seat, trying to comprehend what's going on.
The only one
Blank-
upset right now is Blank, and they rightfully so. But at the same time, I think both teams played extremely well, made very few mistakes, made a couple of mistakes. But yeah, it's hard. Like Fireball versus Detonator, I'm like wrong. This game, I'm like they could have won that better. This game, I'm kind of like they won. They could have won that a little better.
They could
But
have
they won.
could have
right?
super won it.
So exactly, you win or you can super win. You didn't super win it, but you won. If that's all
that's
you
the
really pick
conversation.
out of it, I think both teams played exceptionally well.
I'm definitely going to have to agree with you on that one. I mean, what an absolute joy to watch there. I mean, coming off that first match, as you mentioned, you know, there is those glaring mistakes. I mean, if you're having to nitpick at little tiny things,
Yeah.
you know, going, oh, he shouldn't have really used that tactical visor, and I'm sitting here going, you're right, but at the same time, it looks really good. You know, Dizzy wants to show off to everybody, you know. They are fired up. I guess momentum coming off that is also really good. And I mean, that,
Yeah, you know what's good? Winning the game is
yeah,
good.
he's not easily going to be like, well, maybe I shouldn't use my tactical visor, but hey, I won the game. I won the game. So it doesn't matter there. But
Yeah.
obviously, Blank still have one extra game to play until they're, I guess, equal with the likes of AHQ. So, I mean, if they do drop that game to Marchi tomorrow, I mean, they're completely even.
I don't think it's time to celebrate for anyone just yet, but what this does show us is Blank are capable of losing. Not that they were ever like truly invincible. If there was ever a team that looked like they were pretty much invincible, Blank looked like they were pretty much invincible. But at some point throughout this entire event, throughout this entire tournament, over 4 round robins, statistically someone should beat Blank, right? Like one team at least one time should beat Blank, and now we got a tournament on our hands. We got a real tournament.
I mean, the other thing to note is this the domino effect now? You know, the Blank lose this, and then they lose tomorrow, you know, coming off a loss here. So it'll be, I guess, interesting to see how they now cope, you know, coming off a loss, because as we mentioned, you know, they were undefeated in the OPC.
They level up. They get stronger. Like last time, they dropped, even not even losing. They dropped 2 maps to Hong Kong Attitude. They come back in their 3-0 Hong Kong Attitude.
It's like it's like in Dragon Ball Z, where like you
you're
know,
really going
Yeah,
back
yeah,
there.
I'm really
he
doing
loves
it.
this.
Well, it's a very good analogy, right?
He's a Saiyan, right?
Yeah,
He's a
yeah.
Saiyan.
It's called the Zenkai boost. You get beaten, you go to near death, and then you come back. You're stronger than ever before, and that's exactly how Blank have played. Remember, like you were saying, against Hong Kong Attitude, went to a 5th match. What happened last week?
Okay, Toriyama. What we're going to talk about now is though, Blank are the team that do come back stronger. Like they don't treat losses as just like, oh, we lost. It's a thing they're going to really look over and be like, where did we go wrong? Because as well as Blank play, like I don't think either team played a perfect game. Mistakes still here and there. Like it's about, so you know, people can look at it and anyone can say, oh, you know, you just, you know, winning more is like, it's just a small difference. It's like, what is, you know, but how much of a difference does it make? Well, at this level, a game this close, the difference it makes is winning and losing. Like, if your team isn't like a Formula 1 car right now, and you're not trying to get every 0.1 of a second out of that vehicle, you're not really pushing your team as far as you can. Right? And every small advantage, every small thing adds up into a big thing. Like I said, when you look at one of the plays, Lazy Titan wanted to kill Trill. He failed to kill Trill in the mech. He failed to de-mech him. He came back with full health and completely matrixed out Kalman's whole hog. Very small thing. The difference between that 50 HP cost AHQ an entire ultimate. Big, small things turn into big plays. And at this level, that's the absolute truth. So, yeah, look, Dizzy wasted an attack visor. I'm just going to be straight. That was a waste. Whether it was a win more moment or not, look, using an ultimate and not getting mileage out of it isn't even like a small thing. It's not like, oh, it's a 50 HP difference. It's just like, it's a full 100% ultimate difference. And so every small thing at this level adds up into a big result.
I mean, painfully apparent on Hanamura, you know?
Yeah.
1%. 1%.
Yeah,
That
what could you
tells
have
the tale.
done? What could you have done to get that 1%? And I guarantee you there's a lot. Where could you have cleaned up your play? Because if you cleaned up your play by 1% more, that would have been the win. And this would have been Blank still shaking everyone's hands as the #1 handshakers of the tournament, and AHQ still thinking, man, when am I going to get my handshake against Blank? That would have been the difference.
I mean, because I don't think there'll be too...
Because we're playing for handshakes, not money.
It's all about the handshakes.
Well, I
it
mean,
really
like-
comes down to, King's Row there. They're not going to be, I guess, as hard on themselves for losing that because that was the pick. But first up, we do have the interview. So let's see what AHQ have to say.
I thought I was going to
that
sit
one.
back because I thought this was going to be an English interview, but no. Here we go. It's going to be Calman from
刚刚
AHQ.
实在是太精彩了，我这边有几个问题想问你哦，就是你跟 Lazy Titan 平常呢是怎么训练默契的？
First question is, how do you combo with Lazy Titan? And I can't hear Calman, so this
是
ain't working
吗
out.？
所以刚刚有吵架吗？
Give him your microphone.
了解。那比赛完会吵架吗？等一下。哦。
So Calman, I caught a bit of that.
通常的
Calman
内地都
says,
称
so
为
I
主
argue with
防
Lazy Titan a
你自己觉
lot,
得怎么样？
and we argue a lot more if we
之
lose.
前内地的时候，我的出是真的蛮强。那回来台湾之后很久没玩了，就是现在开始有点烂。对，那最近会再练一下。
那你觉得你跟 Ken 的比的话，谁比较厉害？
当然是我，Ken 的还不行吧？
好。那你觉得刚刚就是赢了 Blank， 心里觉得怎么样？
How do you feel after
还
being
行
Blank?，
因为其实还是
feel pretty
打不好啊。因为本来就是目标是放比较远一点，那就是慢慢努力。
是
It's
好
just a work in
刚刚的
progress and then
比
work
赛实
harder
在是
to
太精彩了，因为你知道我刚刚
continue
手
being
卡
in
看
the
到都
backhand
已经快捏爆，我想说到底怎么样？好，再次恭喜 AHQ 赢得这次的比赛，谢谢。
Congratulations to AHQ for
谢谢
beating Blank.
那明天的比赛呢是下午2点开始，记得要锁定。我是今天的主持人伟丽，谢谢大家。
Specifically for
谢谢
beating Blank.
That was basically it. No, I added the bit because you're like, pretty sure you didn't say Blank. I was like, I added the last one in there.
I was just
I
checking.
took a bit of liberty. Okay, it was literally congratulations on winning. Cool.
Well, I mean, taking a look at tomorrow's schedule, we're going to first up have Flash Wolves coming up against Detonator. Then Blank playing in their back-to-back tomorrow, sort of equaling out their matches played there. Flash Wolves taking on Blank, and then Blank taking on Marchi.
Blake.
Can't
Can't wait for Blake.
Mate, they're pretty
mate,
good.
Blake.
And then it's going to be Hong Kong Attitude taking on Marchi in their back-to-back. Hopefully Blank can come back stronger tomorrow. But I think the real question is what have Flash Wolves done, you know?
Yeah. So AHQ have set the precedent now. They beat Blank. Flash Wolves were a team that was better than AHQ, but AHQ just beat Flash Wolves last weekend. So, two questions: what have Flash Wolves done to level up since their upset last weekend, which was an upset because they lost to Machi, and that's not expected? And secondly, Blank now after losing to AHQ, are they going to show any weakness to Flash Wolves? Because Flash Wolves now are technically the weaker team compared to AHQ. So, are Blank going to come out swinging even harder against Flash Wolves than they did against AHQ? Or are there going to be, not that I was going to say still problems, but realistically, there weren't problems for Blank. It was just AHQ really playing well. But if Blank show weakness against Flash Wolves and drop maps after Flash Wolves' really poor performance last weekend, I think Blank might be slumping just a little bit, and this may not be their weekend. And then obviously Machi after that, Blank should absolutely be beating Machi. But Machi, after coming off a big win rate last weekend, also got a lot to prove. We talked about the gatekeeper position at number 4. It's a struggle between Hong Kong Attitude and Machi. Which one of those teams is actually going to take it out?
Well, that's the other set of questions that we're going to get. I mean, first up, we're going to get Marchi. How are they going to perform against Blank? No one here is really expecting them to take out a win. I mean, hey, okay, maybe it'll happen. I mean, they beat Flash Wolves. Maybe they're going to be pulling off an even bigger upset. But Marchi against Blank, it's going to be about how many maps can they take, how well can they perform even in losses. And then, once we find out that, we get the real interesting question against Hong Kong Attitude. Will they break through the gate that Hong Kong Attitude have set up? They're saying, I mean, you talk about the tier that Blank's in, saying like, oh, you know, AHQ has joined the club. There's now a top 4 club as well. AHQ are sitting there as the bouncer, and Marchi Marchi are wanting to break into that, and they are
they?
poised to do that.
AHQ are bouncing. AHQ are currently bouncing top 2.
Yeah. Marchi, I mean, they're still sitting at 5-5. Sorry?
Oh my goodness.
I said Marchi.
Okay.
Yeah.
Marchi
We'll have to review that one on the pod, but yeah, looking.
Okay.
Marchi
Now-
are looking to break into the
now
top
I am
4.
upset.
Okay?
Now that's what I call an upset, because I'm upset now.
So sorry, Kev.
Well, tonight we've seen obviously Team Fireball take down Detonator Gold. After that, obviously we saw AHQ take Blank Esports out in an absolute nail biter, getting all the way to the best of 5. Tomorrow we're going to see who's going to be coming back stronger, who's going to be the upset matches, and I guess who's going to be going home a little bit upset. I've been Dallas Easy Fighter D. Joining me here tonight, Kevin Everett Walker, Matt Smite Ross, and we will see you all tomorrow on the OPC broadcast.